go well?
They're fine. I was bummed out because the one doctor who left was the guy I liked the most, but we sat with her boss, and I like Bob. Bob and I can talk. We're the same age. We like the similar kind of music. He's not much of a sports guy, but we can talk fishing and music all night long.
So when you're gone 10 days and you do the bills, and so you come back and some stuff's been left for you, let me tell you, my wife can spend money.
This little fiasco in Tampa is not going to be cheap. That's 3 months in a hotel, baby.
Yeah.
I will say the Audio One guys have been pretty solid so far.
Well, that's great.
We had one little hiccup the other day, and it was my bad. Somehow we weren't connected, and a listener told me in Tampa that we weren't on, and I fixed it quickly. But that's the only thing I said to them, like, hey, there's got to be, why is that system not in place? And I got to follow up with that. But they've been very good about getting getting me set up to do what we need to do.
Do you miss talking to your people in Colorado? Do you just want to give them
They quit calling finally. So, I mean, no, not even in the least bit.
By the way, the streamer is because I came home to some balloons.
Very nice.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floormeister Studios. Floormeisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you. On this hump day, how's your week going? We hope it's going well. We hope we'll make it even better. How the heck are you, Miller and Moulton? MillerandMoulton.com. Miller _Moulton on X. I haven't been home in a while. I couldn't let it rip like that between the head cold for the first part of the road trip and then just, trying not to get yelled at by the neighbors. I couldn't let one rip like that for a while.
Did you pull anything?
Mark, I'm so old and out of shape that if I did pull something, I don't know if I'd feel it.
Wow. I hear you.
Don't you have to have a muscle to pull, if you know what I mean?
Somewhere, David. They're there somewhere.
Okay. All right, if you say so. How are you?
I'm good. Good night last night. Wife's Christmas party.
Oh, you usually like those.
It's, you know what? It's a good night. Her boss does a nice job with the Christmas party. Always a decent restaurant. Their business has grown to the point where some of the smaller, more expensive places are kind of off the list now. Now, like he said, I've just got to find a place with a room that holds 50 plus people. And that eliminates a lot of places, but he does a nice job. And we sat with him. He's a good guy. He and I are the same age. So I enjoy talking to him.
Right.
He doesn't do sports, but he does. He and I have similar music taste, and he loves to fish. So we talk a lot of fishing. So no, I mean, it's a good night.
And he gives more than honey baked ham and free movie tickets.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. It could always be more. Don't kid yourself.
Right. Oh, no doubt. But he cuts checks at least.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that makes him significantly more interesting right there.
Speaking of which, when's the Miller and Moulton Christmas party? Are we going to have a virtual one this year? How are we doing this? Or are we each sending each other an edible arrangement? I'm not exactly sure what we're supposed to do, David.
Don't we cut each other checks at the end and or beginning of every month? Isn't that our celebration?
Yes. As a matter of fact, it is. The fact that we're on the air
right
on the first of every month is its own celebration.
Right.
It's the time where I ask for sponsors.
I mean, Mark, we do things differently than most. All right. I consider when we send out our satellite fee amount to keep us on the air for another month, I consider that like our monthly bonus, even though it's money leaving our account. Okay.
Now, you don't hear an argument out of me.
Right. Because it keeps, us on the air. Very funny question from Paul in the Twitch chat room. Who's the employee of the month and or year? All right. Outstanding. Outstanding. I contend it's Mark every year and every month because without him, we're not on the air. Remember, I don't bring much to this equation. I really don't. I'm Robin. There's Batman and Robin, Miller and Moulton. I'm Robin. Okay. Once the mics turn on, that's what I contribute. Otherwise, I don't bring much to this equation.
No, you're Batman for 4 hours, but I'm the one with all the nifty toys, if you know. Where does he get all those wonderful toys? I'm the one that has those because, unfortunately, and I've been thinking about this because I'm going to have to miss a couple of days here coming up, and David's going to have to do a little more work. And I am dreading, absolutely dreading, having to teach him how to do this. Every morning, David has taken it. He has made a new move on our show. There's a couple things that we have to set up, and David usually gets to the computer first. So he has started to set them up. What he may or may not know is that every morning when I come to the computer, I have to then slightly fix what he did.
Right, but he won't tell me, ladies and gentlemen. He won't tell me what he fixes because in theory, I would do it right the first time. So what Mark does is he lets me do whatever it is I do, and then he goes, oh, that's cute. And then he rearranges it, and he's like, yeah, this is how it's going to be. And so I've asked a couple times, well, just let me know. No. It's like checking on me. Mark comes in, he's the teacher. Okay, he comes in, he looks, he goes, that's not so bad. Only a couple red marks, 94. Some days it's like, oh, no, 76. No, that's not going to work. So
there is a tutorial upcoming. There's part of the cynic in me that wants to air it live on Twitch so everyone can walk through this with us, but that's not fair to David.
Especially the 17 times I go, slow down. I'm writing this down. I'm writing this down. I am going to have a workbook, all right, that is full just for the rudimentary stuff to get us on the air and keep us on the air.
And I've got my whole page for when I've got to take a couple of days so that whomever is coming in to run the board has a working plan. And I've got that. That's pretty much been done. That's established. I just print it out. I hand it to him and I walk him through it. But Tech Time with David's coming.
Yes, it is.
It's not. Here's the thing. It's not that I don't want David to know how to do these things. I do. I desperately would like him to know how to do these things. It's the pain that it's going to cause me to teach him how to do these things. And you ask, this must be really hard. No, it's things like signing into a website and things that most of you and I find to be reasonably simple tasks take on a whole new life when you get a non-tech person involved. And I figured
Slow
out,
down. Slow down. I have to write that down. Sorry. What was that again?
I figured out that he's not the only one. One of my oldest and best friends recently moved, and his wife had basically had enough of their $300+ direct TV bill a month, whatever the hell it was.
Why? Everything was coming on. You knew exactly where every channel was. You had it just the way you wanted it. Leave it alone. So what? You say 50, 60 bucks. Who cares in the grand scheme of things? Probably have to get a new clicker. You got to learn stuff now. Leave it alone.
And so he texted me and he said, so what do you use for television? Because I've got to, she's put the brakes on what we're doing.
Oh, for goodness
And
sakes.
so I had to explain to him, YouTube TV, Hulu Live. And he goes, do I got to get one of these stick things? I said, yes, you need a Fire Stick.
Stick things.
I said, it's a one-time purchase, though. Do I need one for every TV? Yes, you do. And then all of a sudden, I think it was 2 Thursdays ago, and he had just moved into his new house, and I get a text around 4 o'clock on Thursday going, how do I watch the game tonight? And I'm hysterically laughing. I'm in line picking up my daughter for school, and I wanted to say, should I send my daughter over to do it for you?
Right.
And he beat me to it. And I says, told me Amazon Prime app, it should be right there. It should be right there for you. And he's like, I'm just going to find some 15-year-old to come set all this up. I'm like, that's a hell of an idea. Everything will work perfectly if you do that.
Back in the day, you used to pay him to cut your lawn. Now you pay him to set up your TV and computer. Yep. Totally.
So you're not alone, David. And he's younger than you. He's the same age as me and has the same difficulties that you do. So you're not alone.
And the great thing is, I'm pretty sure I know who you're talking about. And he's so confident about like 98% of his life. So for him to be this clueless about something is so out of character. I wish I could witness it.
Exactly. And I find joy in that. I truly do.
Miller and Moulton on this hump day. Hope you're having a good week. Thanks so much for sticking with us. A lot on the table on this day. And we're sticking with the regular lineup for a little while longer. Seth Everett, Bud Elliott, Chris Perkins to join us on the show today. Do you believe Mike McDaniel, or do you think he was just blowing smoke trying to get through the presser when he said everything's on the table as to who's going to be the quarterback of the Dolphins going forward?
Well, I do and I don't. I believe him that he thinks at that moment in time, everything's on the table. But if he's partying with Tua, then isn't he kind of telling the boss to fire him too? Or is he trying to save his what? That's really the question, because he has been tied to Tua. We talked about this yesterday. He's the reason Tua got the extension. He worked well with Tua for 2 years. Things have gone south for Tua and for the Dolphins. So is he trying to save his bacon? And I'm excited to talk to Chris Perkins because Chris believes McDaniel's going to be back next year. So this parting between McDaniel and Tua, is it job security for McDaniel, David?
It's a little late in the game for that, isn't it?
I don't know. With this owner and this team, I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to not have an opinion on something, but I don't know what Stephen Ross is going to do. Nobody does. This guy, I don't know how much he, Pat yesterday when we were talking to Pat Kerwin about Tua and parting ways, and he's like, that's an old owner. He's not going to start over. Does anybody really know what Stephen Ross thinks as to how much he wants the Dolphins to win? Like, you can hate Jared if you're a Cowboys fan, and I know plenty of Cowboys fans that do, but you know that he wants to win. I don't know if Stephen Ross wants to win. I truly don't, David.
Yeah, that's not good. because I don't think you're alone. And I think a lot of Dolph fans think and feel that way. I was just starting to go through the list of the 32 teams. It's kind of like in college. Does your school really want to win? I mean, really want to win? Or are they just playing the game and going through the motions? And it's pretty sobering if they're just playing the game and going through the motions. Miller and Moulton on a hump day. Let's get over it together.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roof, Bonnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
The 2025 Industry Appreciation Awards in Fort Myers have wrapped up, but the celebration of business excellence continues, hosted by the Lee County Economic Development Office, Horizon Council, and Horizon Foundation. This annual event honors the innovators, job creators, and community builders driving the region forward. Visit industryappreciationawards.com to see this year's winners and learn how local businesses are shaping a stronger, more resilient economy for Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Well, I mean, Jay, don't all TVs come with a clicker? I mean, a remote control's a clicker. I don't know any TVs that don't have a remote control.
Thank you, Paul.
So I, at some point, have to go to the Verizon store, which I am dreading because I hate the Verizon store. The Verizon, and I think their service is fine, but they've damn near become the new Xfinity to me.
Okay.
Because, and I think I told you this, they have a deal where you get ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and Hulu for $10. When I click on it, my bill goes up $34, and no one can explain to me why a $10 increase costs $34. And after an hour and 10 minutes on the phone with 5 different people, they said go to the Verizon store. I still haven't gone, but it's getting desperate because last night I wanted to come home and watch the third period of the Wings. And I was stuck watching the third period of Edmonton and Pittsburgh.
Gotcha.
And I just want to watch my team. I like the Wings right now.
Yeah, they're playing the kids.
Exactly. This is how if you're going to lose and not make the playoffs, do it with rookies, not a bunch of bums. No, brown chicken. That's a Verizon deal. Literally, still to this day. I don't know if it's because I had it before and discontinued it and now getting it back, they're charging me more, but that's not what it says. Oh, car buying beats because you can't do it quickly. You buy a house faster than you can buy a damn car. I've gone through closings for people on homes that have taken me far less time than, and I'm not talking about cash buyers. I'm talking about people with mortgages. I got to go sit in the room and sign papers. Is that our poll question? Would you rather have an owner who really wants to win but is incompetent, Jerry Jones, or an owner who seemingly doesn't care, Stephen Ross?
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes after the hour. Top of the morning to you. How the heck are you? Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Did you watch the NBA Cup, or because you had your wife's Christmas dinner, it got in the way? Because you actually had said, since we knew the matchup Monday morning, as to how this in-season tournament that the NBA has fabricated the last couple of years, 3 years, I believe, that you're like, this matchup intrigues me because of this Wemby guy.
Wait a minute. I take offense to a lot of the things that were just it's not fabricated. It's an actual tournament. It's not a fabricated tournament.
It's made up. I mean, just you're taking regular season games and now you're attaching a corporate sponsor to them. You're changing the courts that they play on, and you're calling it an in-season tournament. It's regularly scheduled games.
Not the championship.
No, I guess not. They leave it open-ended, whether or not you actually get to the finals, get to the semifinals, etc., right? Because everybody's got to play 82. So they have to leave a certain part of your schedule open-ended. I get it.
And yes, I did watch. I was able to, I got home in plenty of time. I was a little bummed out because I wanted to watch the halftime show because I'm hearing good things about the crew and the group that they have. And, well, the Penguins were on TV, and I do let my wife watch the Pens when they're on. And they were playing Edmonton. So
right.
Live hockey with Crosby, Draisaitl, McDavid, or halftime talking heads, I went with live TV. But yeah, I watched. I actually, I don't know. I watched till there was about a minute and a half left, and the Knicks knocked down a big bucket. And I'm like, that's it. It's over now. And it was. So yeah, I watched the entire second half.
Do you like the idea of the NBA Cup? Do you think that this is something that other leagues should consider? A 3-week tournament of some kind to jazz up the regular season, give it just a little bit of spice and a little bit of attention and a little bit of made up importance.
All right.
Like
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do, David, and you can mock it all you want, and the
No.
listeners can mock me. The Pelican Roofing of Florida text line 21,000. Feel free to mock me. But let me explain why I actually think it's a good thing, and I believe that hockey should jump right on board. Because you just said it, to add a little more spice to early regular season games. Here's the thing, David, and this is tough for most of our audience to listen to, but I would be curious because you've even said you like the courts. So there's something about this tournament that you like. Let me ask you this question. Has flipping the channels, and I know most people don't anymore because we just go to the channel we want, but David's still flipping. He's a flipper. So you're home, you're flipping.
Uh-huh.
And a cool courts on TV. Are you going to give that any more time in your viewing than you would have if it was a regular November court between two teams? I don't know.
Yeah.
Orlando's playing Phoenix, and all of a sudden, hey, that court's cool. I'm going to watch a little bit longer.
Yeah, it catches my attention. I'll give it a few more trips up and down the floor because I'm watching the floor and I'm like, ooh, what is that exactly? Ooh.
And then let's just say, David, let's just, let's go nuts here. You're watching a few more times up the court, and the game has a little bit of flow to it on this Wednesday in November. Would you stick around longer then if the game had a little jazz to it and competitive, and maybe Paulo's just you're going off and you're like, ooh, this is fun. So you may watch longer, right?
Yeah, I guess potentially. Like I will say, I did not pay any, and I'm a Knicks fan, and the Knicks won the NBA Cup, whatever. But when they got to the semifinals of this made-up event, I thought to myself, well, okay, because the 4 teams that were left were Oklahoma City and San Antonio and Orlando and New York. And I just thought to myself, well, this is kind of like a regular season matchup we'd get in hockey or baseball where you go, hey, for one night, the pitching matchups match up, Mark, so that all of a sudden you look and you got 2 of the better pitchers in the league going against one another on a Wednesday night. And you're like, huh, cool. This could be game 1, game 2 of a playoff series right here. For one night, this is kind of cool. Same with hockey. That's kind of how I looked at it. I can see the Knicks and Orlando meeting in the semis in the East. Okay. And I'm like, well, okay, play a game in which there's a little bit of money riding on it. Okay. And I don't know, prestige, importance. I don't think the players take this all that seriously until they get to Vegas. And then they're like, well, hell, now that we're here, we might as well win this thing. San Antonio was clearly all in to play Oklahoma City. I mean, Wemby came off the injured list, and Oklahoma City had only lost once all year, and they went after him. Okay? They attacked it like a playoff game. And it had great intensity.
I don't even need to sell this because the guy who thinks it's a fake tournament's doing a hell of a job of selling it for me.
Well,
I apologize for interrupting. Go on and preach some NBA Cup to us.
No. Like, to me, it's made up. It's rearranging the chairs on the deck. Okay. And, you polish the floor and maybe bring in some new decor. Okay, fine. But I will say, and once again, it's not because the team I root for actually ended up, quote, winning this thing. But listening to the players and coaches once they got to Vegas, talking about how, well, now this is kind of like a little bit of a pressure situation. This is something we're going to face in the spring. Okay, it's actually nice to see how we handle it. Mike Brown talked about that. He's the Knicks coach, in which he said, these were situations in which, if we're going to be the team that we want to be, we're going to put ourselves in situations like this. It's kind of nice to get an early reading on what we do well and what we don't do well when there's a little bit on the line. Okay. All right. I just, the league seems to be in on it, Mark.
David, it's funny. You asked me why I liked it, and you just gave a bunch of reasons why you do. I find that fascinating. For a guy who's mocked this for so long, you speak pretty highly of it. But I will tell you all the reasons why it is a 100% success. You just got through most of it. Most of us don't watch a lot of NBA regular season anymore if it's not our team. This is the glowing puck. This is interleague play. This is something different. First off, NBA fans going to watch NBA game. Felipe and Trent, they're in no matter what. Your son-in-law, he's in no matter what. They like the league. But in order for the league to grow past that, you have to bring in other casual viewers who would not normally be watching an NBA game before Christmas. We've joked for years on this show that the unofficial opening day of the NBA season for the longest time was Christmas. The NFL came and squashed that because, the NFL squashes everything. So if a league that has its fan base who watches religiously when their games are on, when they can make that fan base grow and they can get more people interested in the game, whatever they've got to do in order to do that, it's a win. And you can all be cynical and say it doesn't mean anything, and maybe it doesn't. They play for a little more money. Hell, Vegas isn't really working because they're already talking about moving it from Vegas. But the fact of the matter is, viewership is up for these NBA Cup games. So it's working. It's bringing in the casual fan. And isn't that the goal of every league, to increase its fan base? And they've done so with this. And if that gets more people interested in certain players or certain teams or the league in general, then it's a huge, huge win for the NBA.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeister's prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. This December, watch the nation's best high school basketball players compete in the City of Palms Classic. Fort Myers will once again welcome future college and NBA stars as they square off at Suncoast Arena from December 18th through the 23rd. Come see Southwest Florida's own Bishop Verreau versus Barron Collier on Sunday night, December 21st. For tournament information, please visit cityofpalmsclassic.com. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine, no more snoring, no more tossing, no more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Wow, did ESPN troll the Knicks? They put out a post after the game, all caps. The New York Knicks have won their first trophy since 1973.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. That's trolling without realizing that you're trolling. Man, I know most of the Twitch chat room right now is anti. Where's Empire? He's my NBA guy. He's an NBA fan.
Yeah, I love it. We do 8 minutes on something and people are freaking out.
No. I don't think anybody freaked out. Paul just said NBA hour. And Paul, I'm with you on the car. You think you're done with everything, and then the finance manager's just he's gonna just, you got 30 minutes with him minimum. And at least now, like the last time when I just got my car a year ago or so, everything was digital. They got that fun desk where you just sign the desk, basically. You know, all the forms are right there. So it's even a little easier, but man, oh man. What are you thinking for a poll question? You got anything over there? Are you done with where are you on your Christmas shopping? I'm finished. I've done some. I haven't started yet.
There you go. I like that. I haven't started yet.
So, Paula, since you talked about sending to Seattle, my wife, and she works harder than me, so I do a lot of the errands for her, and I don't mind. But I had to send all of the gifts up to Pennsylvania, and her mom's not coming down this year, so I had to send one box to her mom's house, one box to her brother's house for the kids. And I go to the pack and ship place over by my Publix. The lady in there could not have been more miserable. Said out loud while I'm there, I hate this time of year. I wanted to look at her and go, you know, your bread is buttered this time of year.
I was going to say.
Like, get a new job, woman. I could not. I mean, she was miserable. And I'm in line watching her be miserable, going, God, I hope I get that guy. Please let me get that guy. Please. Nope, I got her.
I let people, like, when that's the situation, I let the people behind me go. I go, no, you go. No, I'm not going to her.
It does cost an arm and a leg. And the wife, you know, she took my dry cleaning in for me. Very nice of her, but I have to pick it up. You know what you do when you pick up? You pay. You know what you do when you take the gifts there? You pay. I got just give it to me.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X on this hump day. Thanks for being with us. Seth Everett, Bud Elliott, Chris Perkins, all scheduled to join us. But, between now and then, we do have some business to attend to. Like
The Starting Five. 5 big stories you need to know. Here is The Starting Five.
And the Starting Five brought to you by Lee County, Florida. Building a better community. Come on, you know the drill by now. Through BST, baby. Business, sports, and tourism. We'll start with the NFL. You guys seem to like it. Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel said yesterday that benching Tua is on the table after his Monday night performance and, quite frankly, how he's been playing. Even though the Dolphins are 4-2 in their last 6 games, during those 6 games, their passing attack is second to last in the league. And that includes all the garbage yards and the 2 touchdowns that they got in the fourth quarter against Pittsburgh. Mark, did you see Tua's stat line Monday night?
I didn't really look. I mean, he throws interceptions. He's 15 now.
Leads the league. By the way, I don't know if you saw what I thought was a very interesting stat. Every single interception has been against zone defense.
Wow. You mean the defense in which quarterbacks are literally supposed to be able to pick that apart?
Well, they know where the holes are, and that sort of deal shows that he's not seeing what's out there.
Also, wouldn't that say he lacks arm strength?
Well, it also says to me that he's just throwing. I'm going to throw it here. And then the next thing you know, there's a guy standing there. But here's the funny thing, why stats can lie. Through 3 quarters, Tua had thrown for all of 65 yards.
Right.
In the fourth quarter, he threw for a lot more than that. Tua's stat line was 22 of 28 for 253 yards, 2 TDs, and a pick.
Right. That on the surface looks acceptable.
Doesn't that remind you of, wasn't it Blake Gabbert who was the master of the Jags being down by 3 scores in the fourth quarter, and he produced terrific fantasy numbers during garbage time?
Was it Bortles or Gabbert?
Bortles, you're right. It was Bortles.
I won a lot of fantasy games with Bortles as a quarterback because they'd be down 4 scores. He'd have a hell of a second half and put up great fantasy numbers. Couldn't play worth a lick, but he was great on fantasy.
So we'll see. McDaniel's got to make his decision by today because they start practicing today for Sunday's game against the Bengals. We'll see who the starting quarterback for the Fins will be. Tomorrow's Rams-Seahawks showdown in Seattle may be without LA wide receiver Davante Adams. He tweaked his hamstring. The Rams are going to give him every possible minute to be able to play in this game. They say he will be a game-time decision tomorrow night. Davante Adams, 60 catches, around 800 yards, 14 touchdowns.
It's at this point of the program that I must remind you that Pat Kerwin would say, gee, a Thursday night game and a player's not ready to play, that would be ready on Sunday.
The Rams came out and said it yesterday. The Rams said, we think he'd be able to go on Sunday. Not so sure about Thursday. Jets release wide receiver Allen Lazard. They signed him 3 years ago to a 4-year, $44 million deal to make Aaron Rodgers happy. He never had a big role in the offense. He asked to be released so that he can pull an Adam Thielen and hook up with somebody for the playoffs. And Notre Dame running back Jeremiah Love made it official. He declared for the NFL draft. Would be a shock if he's not the first running back taken. The question will be how high. Likely in the first half of the first round, but just how high will he go? Did you see what the ACC announced or unveiled yesterday? They unveiled their football schedule for next year. Remember, the ACC, like the SEC, said we're going to play 9 conference games beginning in 2026. However, Mark, not everyone's playing 9 conference games next year.
Excuse me?
Correct. 12 of its 17 schools will play 9 conference games. But because of existing scheduling contracts that certain schools have, Florida State, North Carolina, Boston College, Clemson, and Georgia Tech will only play an 8 conference game schedule next year.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Okay.
I mean, David,
No.
these schools break these contracts daily. This is so easy. I'm sorry. This, to me, the ACC commissioner, he needs to be, I don't know, perhaps, you don't want to fire everybody. Let's suspend him with pay. Are you kidding me right now? Where is your leadership? How can you do this?
This is the 4th scheduling change the ACC has made to its football schedule in the last 4 years. Mark, I ask you this with all due respect, and when someone says all due respect, they don't mean any respect. But Mark, with all due respect, what ACC fiasco is worse? The 2026 conference schedule or their 5-team 5th-way tiebreaker that put Duke in the ACC championship game?
Well, it's the tiebreaker is worse, but I'm not sure which game North Carolina can't get out of. Now, they play TCU in Dublin, so I get that that's a big deal, and there's sponsors and things involved. So that one's off the table. And I know they probably don't want to get rid of either of these games, but they have East Tennessee State and at UConn. Now, here's another bold idea. You've been talking a big game, ACC. You have a school that's mad at you, and you're now mad at them because they're mad at you. They play Notre Dame. I'd look Notre Dame in the eye and say, sorry, can't play. You got to get an actual conference game. Unless the Notre Dame game is going to count in the conference, now then that's different. It's an unfair advantage for those teams that have to play Notre Dame instead of Boston College, but, play whatever Catholic you can get.
Okay, here's where it counts. Much like the SEC has said to its member schools, you're going to play 9 conference games, but you have to play 10 Power 4 games a year, making it so that you can't just schedule 3, Little Sisters of the Poor. You got to go find some team with some meat on the bone. Well, the ACC has said that, Mark, to their teams as well. So obviously for some of these schools, 9 conference games, and if you have Notre Dame on your schedule, well, there you go. Now that meets the minimum requirement, and you could go schedule a couple wins if you want. So what's interesting going forward, for this season next year, Clemson's only playing 8 conference games, but beginning in 2027, Clemson just signed a long-term home and home with Notre Dame. And obviously, they've got the long-term home and home with South Carolina. Beginning in 2027, Clemson's going to play 11 Power 4 games a year. Remember the schedule the Gators had like a year or so ago, in which it was like, man, somebody wants to get Napier fired. What are they doing here? So give it a year, but Clemson's schedule is going to be daunting. For what it's worth, Miami, by the way, 5 home games next year, 4 road. Their home schedule for you Canes fans: BC, Duke, Florida State, Pitt, Va Tech. On the road, Clemson, North Carolina, Stanford, and Wake. Florida State, one of the 5 schools playing just 8 conference games. Home, Clemson, NC State, SMU, Virginia. On the road, BC, Louisville, Miami, Pitt. Chuck Nenes died yesterday at the age of 93. You probably have never heard of him. He changed college football in a huge way. Why is the TV situation the way it is now? Chuck Nenes. In 1980, he took over the CFA, the Collegiate Football Association, and he got Georgia and Oklahoma to go to the Supreme Court with him, took on the NCAA and said, your television contracts are ridiculous. We want to be on TV more. We want to make a lot more money. And he made it happen. And he was also very instrumental in the Big 8 becoming the Big 12 and becoming a very powerful entity in the 80s and the 90s. Chuck Nenes died at the age of 93 yesterday, a very important figure in the history of college football. NBA Cup, as we mentioned last segment, Knicks won it. They beat San Antonio 124-113. They were down 10 late third quarter. Mitchell Robinson only played 18 minutes, but garnered 15 rebounds. The Knicks out-rebounded the Spurs by 17. They hit 15 threes. Wemby, second game back from injury, 18.6 rebounds. Yeah, they may move it from Vegas because, believe it or not, people aren't showing up for it.
Nope. Silver actually talked about taking it to college campuses.
Silver
An NBA
also,
game at Cameron Indoor? That'd be interesting.
that would be interesting. I'd go Allen Fieldhouse. It's twice the size.
Well, they'd move it around. I think
Yeah.
they'd all get one after a while. But yeah.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a
yeah?
minute. It's more positivity about the NBA Cup from David Moulton. And I'm the one that likes the NBA Cup. This thing seems to be working.
It might be. It might be. I mean, I think teams sell it. Like, the Lakers won the first one and they put a banner up. I think that's just embarrassing. Okay. It's like saying the Knicks won something last night. Come on now. Silver also said next year they will decide on expansion. He specifically mentioned Vegas and Seattle, the worst kept secret in the league. College hoop, there was one game involving ranked teams. 20th ranked Tennessee whooped up on 11th ranked Louisville and Knoxville, 83-62. 10 other ranked teams all won by double figures. Miami beat FIU by 17. Florida State went to Dayton and lost by 28. NHL, 10 games. Rangers were home, Mark, so what'd they do?
They lost, David, because when they play at MSG, well, they lose.
And what else do they do when they're home?
They don't score.
Vancouver, 3-0. Is it DeBrincat?
It is DeBrincat.
He scored 2 goals in the third. Detroit over the Islanders, 3-2.
He's got 20 now. He's red hot.
Draisaitl with 4 assists. He reached the 1,000-point mark. Connor McDavid, 2 goals, 2 assists. The first goal was filthy.
Filthy. Go look it up.
6-4 Edmonton over Pittsburgh.
By the way, all of a sudden they're in third place in their division and playing pretty well, Edmonton.
Wild have won 5 in a row. They shut out Washington 5-0. Avs still only 2 regulation losses in now 33 games. McKinnon with 2 goals. He's got 28 in 33 games. Colorado 5-3 over the Kraken. Toronto scored 3 in the third, including 2 late goals, 8 seconds apart to beat Chicago 3-2. Boston 4-1 over Utah. Columbus 4-3 over Anaheim in overtime. Philly, Trevor Zegras, a goal in a 4th straight game, 4-1 over Montreal. And if you're into hockey at all, McDavid's goal or Celebrini's goal for San Jose last night, look it up.
Celebrini's goal.
A 360 going through traffic. He 360s it and scores.
Little Denny Savard spinorama right there for you old timers.
Damn.
Unbelievable.
Damn. Is this kid old enough to drink?
I don't believe
think
that he
is. San Jose doubled up Calgary 6-3. That league's in a really good place. They still can't get people to watch it, but man, its product is pretty damn good. And at 7 minutes before the hour, that was the starting 5. 5 big stories and a Celebrini that you needed to know here on Miller and Moulton. The Starting Five brought to you by Lee County, Florida. Building a better community. Get it through your heads, folks. Through business, sports, and tourism. Have a BLT in Lee County while celebrating BST.
It's a BFD. I'm telling you. Miller and Moulton, Seth Everett, Bud Elliott, Chris Perkins, all ahead. Thanks for listening.
Football season is back, and celebrate your game day with Jimmy the Beef Guy. We're talking tender, juicy Chicago beef sandwiches. Whether your party's for 10, 100, or 200, bring game day to your house with Jimmy the Beef Guy. The catering packages come with the beef, the gravy, the peppers, the bread, everything you need. 2 convenient locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. Skip the ordinary and bring the beef. Jimmy the Beef Guy, Chicago flavor, Southwest Florida style. Call today or visit jimmythebeefguy.com. Tell him Miller and Moulton sent you.
Got a cracked window or foggy glass? Don't wait for the next storm to make it worse. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business is just down the road and ready to help. From leaky frames to shattered panes, we've got the tools and the know-how to get your home or business storm ready. With flexible scheduling and our done right promise, you'll be in good hands. So before or after the weather hits, call your neighbors at Glass Doctor.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor. We fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. Capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Deadstroke, that was pretty funny, the Rayola comment. And Brown Chicken, you asked me a question, I asked you one back, and you never answered. So I hope that, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what you were wondering there. And Miguel, if you're listening in a chat room, it's an interesting concept. Wemby will dominate the league before long. If he stays healthy, my man. But, man, I do like watching him. Because he's a first-year coach, Mello. That's why he won't get fired.
Hi, Mello. You have no idea what you're talking about. None. All right. First off, it's a first-year head coach. Secondly, he's the general manager of the program. He's in charge of bringing in the talent. Okay. Is he an assistant coach? Yes. But he does very little coaching. Okay. So trust me, he was the first person this new head coach hired. And this new head coach gave him a promotion and a big raise in his first few months on the job. So they're not good, by the way. The fact they almost beat the Gators was stunning. They apparently have a very good class coming in, however. But yeah, they lost their cool last night and got whacked at Dayton. Tough place to play, too. No, actually, Mello, you did say, okay, I don't know how he doesn't get canned. Okay. He's not responsible. Okay. Trust me.
First-year coach gets canned, I think is what he was saying, to which I said the first-year coach isn't getting canned.
No.
That's how I read it, but
No. I mean, they pushed Leonard Hamilton out for this guy, who was an assistant with the Sacramento Kings. But, okay. Dayton should be in the Big East. They really should. Dayton, I think, is better year in, year out than half the Big East. And it's a great college basketball city. Not a good, but a great college basketball city. Oh, I'm sure they won't, but I don't know why Xavier has that much power.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this hump day. Big fella's a little over a week away. I missed him. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Hey, speaking of the big fella, have you done any Christmas shopping yet?
Oh, yeah. Yep. I'm not done. Not even close. Tomorrow's a big day. Got to finish. I'll probably wrap everything up tomorrow.
Gotcha. I haven't started.
I'm not surprised.
Really?
You've been busy. No, you've been busy. You just had a trip to Jersey to see Mom. You travel a lot, and you mixed travel in with seeing your mom, which you could kind of say was a little bit of a present. You went to spend time with your mom. You won't see her at Christmas, but I'm not surprised. You've never been someone who shops early for Christmas. And the fact that, and if I were you too, your birthday's coming up in a couple of days. If I were you, if I were in your shoes my whole life, I would not do any shopping before my birthday. I'd be like, damn it. How about you guys pay attention to me before I spend my money on you?
I don't know if I ever had that philosophy or not, but I like it. I may sell that for the rest of my days.
And you know, in true Miller and Moulton fashion, David's taking his birthday off because he's having surgery on his mouth the day before and won't be able to talk. Not because he wants to take the day off, because literally he has to, so he can work Monday where his bread is buttered. Let's be brutally honest here. It's more important. And I know that. And I love David for continuing to do this show to provide me for a living. But I was thinking about that. And, you know, I know this really I know this stinks for you because your favorite thing to do that doesn't involve watching sports on television is probably eating. And I'm not doing that to be a smartass because eating's up there with me too. It's top 3, might be top 2. And I was thinking of sending you an edible arrangement for your birthday. But you won't be able to eat it, and then you're traveling. So
Nope.
I
Believe it or not,
didn't. I'm like, I said to my wife, I go, he's got to have some things in mouth surgery, and I go the root canal, whatever. And I'm like, he won't be able to. This is not kind of major mouth surgery. I go, he's not going to be able to eat on Friday. She's like, hell no. I'm like, damn it. She's like, why? I go, I was thinking about sending him an edible arrangement.
I'm actually not doing the Monday night game.
Oh wow.
Yeah. They're not happy with me that I'm coming back doing Monday's show.
Well, if you got to take Monday off, you take Monday off.
No. Like you said, bread is buttered. So
so I was the only thing I thought of, and I'll spill the beans. If a DoorDash shows up with a chocolate milkshake, it's my birthday present for you. I thought about it yesterday. Like, what could I do because he's going to be in pain. He's going to be pissed off. He hopefully I'll have enough drugs to make it numb.
Hopefully.
What could I do to make it a little easier on him and at the same time make him laugh? An edible arrangement was the first thing that popped in my head. And I'm like, he won't be able to eat the fruit. Then it's just going to go to the wife, and that's not fair.
Right now, by the way, I am losing the painkiller negotiations too. Okay, because I'm one of those. Listen, I don't look tough, but I am actually very good with pain. All right, very good with pain. I don't know why, but I am. But if you're going to put me in big time pain, I don't want to prove my toughness. My feeling is, drug me, man. I got no problem. How many days? Yeah, sure, take it away. Make it go away. I'm fine with that. And this time around, they seem to be thinking that, no, I need to suffer.
Better health through chemistry, man. I'm all for it.
I know. I'm like, listen, do I have to make a list? Okay. And just what I've gone through here in the last 15, 16 months. I mean, no, I could get 3 days. Can we negotiate 3 days? Okay. I'd love 4, but how about 3? And they're kind of like, no, we'll get you home. I'm like, whew. Okay.
So yesterday when I was picking my daughter up from school, and it's like a cattle call, all the parents are standing around. It's a mess. And all of a sudden and I don't know any, I know 2 dads. There's a third dad who brings his dog occasionally, and the dog's a beautiful golden retriever, and I've walked up to say hi to the dog. And so he and I no clue what his name is. I mean, not a clue. He doesn't know what mine is. We've talked from time to time. Then I found another dad that I've actually known for quite a few years. Didn't realize his kids went to the same school as mine, and one of my daughter's friends, and he's not that talkative. I mean, that's the 3 people. That's it. And yesterday, as I'm standing there, checking everybody out, mostly the moms. One of the moms must have had some sort of oral surgery as well, because she had the whole head wrap, the ace bandage around the head. And I immediately started thinking of you. If they do that, I really want a picture.
Like right out of the cartoon?
Yes.
Is that what you're thinking?
Yes.
The head wrap? Right. I could do that. I could do that for. Is it okay if I give you the finger during the picture, though? Can I send that picture? Okay, good. I mean, yeah. If you want you want a memento of my pain, fine. Here it is. Got it.
By the way, speaking of the Christmas shopping, that is our poll question for the moment. How far along are you? Done, I've started, haven't started yet. Right now, done and I've started are tied. Haven't started yet, less than 10% of you.
Ooh. Well, I haven't voted yet, so it'll go up. I probably should wait until after the first of the year so that I could say this is my favorite story of 2026 or the early part of 2026. But you know me, Mark. What do I love? I love drafts. I love trade deadlines. Okay. And I read something yesterday while flying in which, Mark, was it Will Campbell last year from LSU, in which they're like, his arms are too short. You can't have a good offensive tackle if your arms are.
And they were literally, I don't know if 37 inches is the number of the arms or whatever, but he was like 36 and 3. Whatever it was, he was like a quarter inch short.
Right. I think it's 30 for whatever reason. For the tackles, it's 32.
Okay, then he was like 31 and 3/4. Though.
Correct.
I mean, it was right there, but nope. It's got to be this.
Too short. Right. Nope. He's not. I'm telling you, he's not going to be a good player. Not in the NFL. He's like, I've just played in the SEC for 2 years. I haven't given up a sack. Okay. I've gone against some pretty good players. In fact, you're going to draft a bunch of them on Thursday and Friday. Are you sure I'm not going to be able to play on Sundays? And so, of course, the Patriots just took him, and he's a stud. Right. Well, Mark, all right, this year's Will Campbell, Miami Hurricanes defensive end Reuben Bain. All right, you can't.
At one point this year, and he's not right now in the last mock I looked at, because about once a week I'll just check out a mock for the hell of it. But there was a long time this year where he was listed as the first overall pick, the best player available in this year's draft. Sorry, go on, David.
He can't play. He can't play. All right. I don't know what you think you've seen of him on Saturdays, but Mark, his arms are too short. If you're a defensive end and your arms are shorter than 31 inches, you can't play. You won't be able to play on Sundays. And like Will Campbell, his arms are a quarter inch too short. Maybe even up to a half an inch too short. Mark, his arms are just too short. He's not going to be able to play. So, of course, I'm picking him. I'm just telling you that right now. If we're running a team, it's like, fine, we'll just sit here and let everybody pass on him. We'll take him. Who we want in the second round, because I know who we're taking in the first. So that's my favorite story of the day. All right, so far this week. It's not the Thursday Night Football, Rams, Seahawks. It's not the demise of Tua. It's not the fact that the ACC is going to have 12 teams play 9 conference games and 5 play 8 because, well, they're the ACC. Nope. Mark, his arms are too short. I don't know what to tell you. He can't play.
Well, we have plenty of time to get into the draft, and we have plenty of time before the NFL playoffs start. But, David, earlier this week, you were talking about Superman, as you called him.
Yes.
Josh Allen.
Yep.
And he is the X factor in the AFC playoffs.
I believe so.
No, you're right. But it does lead to a bigger question, because I believe that they are the favorites in the AFC to go to the Super Bowl at this point in time.
Ooh, really?
Not to win it right now, but I believe they're the favorites to represent the AFC.
Wow.
They were earlier this week when I looked. I'll double check here. But it does beg the question. If Lamar gets in, we all know Lamar is a shell of himself this year. He's hurt. And we know Mahomes is not in the playoffs. And Buffalo's problem hasn't been Baltimore in the postseason. It's been Kansas City. So if Mahomes doesn't go this year, if Allen doesn't go this year, then when, David?
Well, you could argue, though, that all those teams that have represented the conference in the 2020s, that maybe they're all beginning to crumble. The Chiefs, the Bengals, the Ravens, and that maybe the window is longer for Josh Allen and the Bills because their kryptonite at various points this decade is beginning to fall apart. And they may be outlasting the Chiefs and the Ravens and the Bengals, etc. You could make that argument. But I know what you're saying. We got Superman. There's no proven Superman in the playoffs that we're going to play against. Shouldn't we be able to win then? This kind of reminds me a lot of Elway with the Broncos in the late 80s in the AFC. That John pretty much carried them to the Super Bowl. Now, when they got there, they got whacked. Miller and Moulton.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Faro and Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Faro and Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Faro and Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Think we only fix windows? Think again. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business does so much more to upgrade your home. We custom build stunning shower and bath enclosures, install sleek glass doors and windows, and can bring fresh life to foggy or cracked panes. Need a glass tabletop or a statement mirror? Yep, we do that too. If it's glass and it's in your home, we're the team to call.
Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Golly.
I need you to do one favor between now and Friday for me. Between now and Friday at 6 a.m.
Uh-huh.
I need your picks for Friday.
Yeah.
So when I do the pick segment, I can reveal yours.
Yep.
I mean, and we're missing out. We've got 2 bowl games today, 1 tomorrow. I forgot to go to break there too, Paula, so I forgot a lot that last segment.
Oh.
Well, and I'm not trying to be a jerk here, but it's so fun how you guys all try to tell us how stupid we are all the time. I said Super Bowl odds. You immediately looked up what made your argument work to say, hey, Mark, you're stupid. You're wrong. You guys do it all the time. I've now find it to be hilarious because no matter what we say, you all hear what you want to hear, and we can't control that. Never will be able to, never have been able to.
Sonny, I think it's a question of will the Chiefs be in the top 10? Because I don't think Jeremiah Love falls further than Kansas City. Although you could argue that they should take an offensive tackle or a defensive lineman, but
Well, I mean, based on this year's right now where we're at, and Kansas City's currently 11th. The Giants, I don't think, would take Love first overall. Vegas needs a quarterback. Tennessee would be interesting, David.
it's too high.
Okay.
They have so many glaring needs, but
All
they
right. But if that, let's just, I mean, 2 could become 6 really easy for
no,
Tennessee.
it's true. It's true. And besides, their needs are very much on offense.
So, I mean, Cleveland, Cleveland just drafted one. The Jets, who knows what the Jets are going to do? Arizona, I mean, they need a lot. So it's intriguing. That's all I'm saying, David.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton. MillerandMoulton.com. Miller_Moulton on X. On this hump day, our poll question, where are you with your Christmas shopping? You done? You haven't started? Somewhere in between. Go vote. Yesterday, by the way, 3/4 of the folks, they're done with Tua. Cut them now.
Yep.
Take the $99 million cap hit. I'll decide whether I want to take it all at once or divide it in between 2 seasons, but I'm done. 3/4 of our listeners said done, over.
By the way, if you gave this score in the starting 5 and I missed it, I apologize to you right now. But this is reason number 10,186 not to gamble, even though Miller and Moulton love gambling. Yesterday, the Salute to Veterans Bowl was played.
Yep.
I'm guessing many of you aren't even aware that game happened. Jacksonville State beat Troy 17-13.
Yep.
The spread was Jacksonville State minus 3.5.
Yep. Sure was.
Just saying. Like they don't know what they're doing, and yet we all think we're smarter than they are.
2 more bowl games tonight, right? Old Dominion, South Florida, Louisiana, and Delaware.
Yep. The Cure Bowl is what South Florida and ODU are in. Louisiana and Delaware in the 68 Ventures Bowl. Can't wait for that.
Old Dominion and South Florida, both looking for a 10-win season. So sometimes these bowl games have a little more meaning for certain schools because they want to achieve a nice goal, 10-win season. Okay. I'm curious how many of the South Florida guys are playing.
Exactly.
How many are lining themselves up to go transfer, whether it be with Golish in Auburn or elsewhere.
So that is why, we had our poll question last week about how long do you think the bowl games will last. With the portal, I will say, I will be David's going to want to talk to Bud about the college football playoffs. I may be, Bud, which teams have lost the most players to the transfer portal that aren't playing in bowl games? Where can we make some money? Bud Elliott coming up in a little more than an hour. I mentioned Lamar, we're talking about Josh Allen, if now, not, when. And we got this text on the Pelican Roofing of Florida text line, and I think it's a ridiculous text, but I'm going to read it anyhow. When I mentioned that, Buffalo's problem is not Lamar, it's been Mahomes. The following text came: Lamar is trash. He's a statistical genius, but will never win the big games for the Ravens. Won the MVP twice, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That usually is damn near enough to get you into the Hall of Fame. So trash, I think that's a gross misrepresentation of Lamar. He hasn't gotten it done in January. There are plenty of quarterbacks that are guilty of that same thing.
But obviously, you look at the quote great ones and you look at them and go, got to get it done once, don't you?
But does that make Josh Allen trash then? Because he's never won the big one either.
No, he hasn't.
I mean, I don't think that of Josh Allen. And I don't think it of Lamar, obviously.
Right. No, but
Burrow's gotten to the big game. Is he ever going to get back?
Mark, remember when we were talking about this on Monday and how quick people were to start quoting the one-loss playoff records of these so-called elite quarterbacks? I mean, Josh Allen, I think, is a game above 500 in the playoffs. I think Peyton Manning was a game above 500 for his career in the playoffs.
And he won the last game a couple of times.
He went to the last game 4 times. And I think he was a game above 500 in his career in the postseason. I mean, outside of winning it all, you're going to pick up a loss every year. So then the only way to have a good record is to win 2 playoff games a year? It's not so easy. Never mind what happens to 1 or 2 years, you're one and done. Oh, boy. But it's just where we are, unfortunately. First off, everyone sucks about just about everything. And we just look for the stats to back it up as to why so-and-so's not this and they're not that. Which is funny because if they play for your team, they're great. And we're not saying enough good things about them. But when they don't play for your team, you have a tendency to look for the negative. It's funny how it works.
So, I don't think Lamar is trash. I don't think Josh Allen is trash. They've just had this guy named Mahomes. And you could go back to, was it Moulton, the OC for Baltimore, who called just an awful game for Lamar?
In the AFC Championship game against Kansas City, why did they stop running the ball? Why? Why did they get away from what they had done to be the best team in the league? So what, you're behind by 7 points. Keep running the ball. Even down 10 points, keep running the ball. But he freaked out. They freaked out. They lost. But it is true that 2 times they've been the number 1 seed in the playoffs. They haven't gotten to the Super Bowl either time.
Nope.
And they've lost at home, obviously, as the number 1 seed both times. So it's just the pressure, the level of competition is so much better, so much better. So it's hard. That's why when the Bradys and the Mahomes do what they do, it's out of this world. It's so damn good.
It does taint our view of others. And sometimes you have to just stop and say, this is a level of greatness that is so damn hard to achieve. But you're right. It's a lot easier as opposed to saying that guy's great. They like to say that guy sucks.
Yeah.
People like to bring people down. That's where we are. And Miller and Moulton are as snarky as anybody. But we've been pretty consistent in nearly 20 years of doing this, of what we love. We love greatness. We loved Brady. We love Mahomes. Now, I will say, as two guys who like all sports, you mentioned it yesterday. It's going to be tough watching OKC. It really is, because they ain't going anywhere, and this could be a dynasty.
Yeah.
And it is not the most... I appreciate the hell out of SGA for what he is. It is not the most appealing brand of basketball.
No.
When Steph and Golden State had it going on, it was sexy.
Right.
It was fun. This OKC team, not as fun, but they're great. And that's why, when you were doing the starting five and you mentioned Colorado, or I mentioned Dallas, like right now in the NHL, Dallas would be leading every other division in hockey by a lot of points. They'd be leading the Atlantic, which is Tampa's division. They'd be leading that division by 8. The other division in that conference, Carolina, they'd be leading that one by 5. In their own conference, they'd be leading the Anaheim division by 7. They're 6 back of Colorado. And I know a bunch of you don't care about the hockey and particularly the Western Conference, but what Colorado and Oklahoma City are doing right now is historic.
What, you mean the fact we're a week from Christmas and we have an NBA team and an NHL team that have lost twice? Twice. At least in Colorado's case in regulation. Miller and Moulton. I got a stat for you when we come back.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
The holidays are here, and our special showcases of overstocks and estate jewelry is waiting.
50% off diamond bracelets, rings, earrings, pendants, even stunning colored gemstone jewelry with tanzanite, sapphire, rubies, and more.
Todd and I are in the store every day to help you uncover the perfect gift.
Wrap up a little magic this year.
Hurry in. These 50% off deals won't last. Only at the Diamond District. Hablamos Español.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. This December, watch the nation's best high school basketball players compete in the City of Palms Classic. Fort Myers will once again welcome future college and NBA stars as they square off at Suncoast Arena from December 18th through the 23rd. Come see Southwest Florida's own Bishop Verreau versus Barron Collier on Sunday night, December 21st. For tournament information, please visit cityofpalmsclassic.com. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
This is Miller and Moulton.
I think Oklahoma City is far better than Denver right now. Denver's kind of lost players. I think they need to find somebody else They're not the team they were 3 years ago. I don't believe. Jokic is still amazing. I don't think the supporting cast is as good as it was. And the only thing I would say about Baltimore in the playoffs is you're going to blame it on Lamar, or do you think some of this may fall on coaching?
Oh,
Thanks, Tim.
I forget which Sonny or Empire, which guy made what point. But here's the problem for the Wild. Aren't they in the same division as the Avs and the Stars? I mean, I agree with you. I think they're the third best team in the West. And boy, are they fired up since they made the Quinn Hughes deal. But
By the way, they're not just the third best team in the West. They're the third best team in the league right now.
yeah, I think the top three teams in the league are right now all in that division.
So you got to get through that division first.
Yeah.
Only one of you is getting out. Oh, yeah, and then your reward is either probably in Anaheim's a little over their skis. They're going to be
Probably
good.
Edmonton.
Or Vegas,
Yeah.
which, by the way, Mitch Marner is playing terrifically for Vegas.
I mean, the Wild have
and OC, as far as do I think they're going to bench Tua? No, I don't.
I do.
Really?
I do. Yeah. But
No, Billy Guerin's all in with the Wild.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till Seth Everett, an hour away from Bud Elliott. Chris Perkins to kick off the Diamond District bonus hour at 9 a.m. in the East, coming up in a little more than an hour's time. Well, We don't have to spend a ton of time on this, but there's a lot of layers to it. Army Navy did $8 million. Now, the surprise is it was down nearly 20% from last year. Now, last year, Army had a double-digit wins coming in. They were ranked. Was in D.C., even though the stadium's technically in Landover, Maryland, and it did a great number. Highest rated game in a long time. It did nearly 9.5 million viewers. This, the second highest rated Army Navy game in a while. This, by the way, far and away, highest rated college football game CBS aired this year. I mean, the highest rated game CBS did this year, with predominantly the second or third best Big Ten game, was 5.5 million for Indiana, Oregon. And that was the best rating CBS did this year in a college football game. They did about 7.8 million for Army Navy. But Mark, what does that bring into the fold? If you're college football, you really going to let Army Navy continue to have the day? The whole day? I mean, I can tell you for a fact that the folks from Army and Navy are already beginning to plan and lobby behind the scenes, not to protect the day, to protect a time slot. They're trying, they know that the game is going to get squeezed. That, Mark, you're going to look back and say that the halcyon days, if you will, of the Army-Navy game in the latter half of the 20th and the early 21st century is going to be this 2009 through 2025, 26 window where it was a standalone game. To give you an example, 2008 was the last time that Army-Navy had to compete with another game. It was on Conference Championship Saturday. It was the 12:30 game that CBS aired heading into the SEC title game. It did 3 million viewers. Now, ratings are up, and we have new ways of gauging those that are watching, so who knows? That audience might have been 4 million. But the very next year, when they moved it to a standalone game, the rating almost doubled. It went from 3 to like 5.5. The very next year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know really. I don't like talking about this game because I always come across as the guy who doesn't care about it. But if you're college football, why are you letting them have this game to themselves?
Now, I mean, now that the system is what it was, you know, when they first did it, it was still just 2. Then it went to 4. You could allow Army Navy to be the exclamation point on your college football season. Now we're in double figures.
Well,
we got, you know, it ain't 2 or 4 anymore.
Well, and more importantly, you're right. All those things are true. But the most important part of this is the law. The law. Okay, I'm not here to take a shot at Army Navy or defend Army Navy. I'm just telling you the laws in this country don't allow NFL games on Saturday until, what is it, the 3rd Saturday of the month.
Correct.
Okay, that's the law. This is not anything more than until this law changes. And trust me, I could see the NFL trying to get it changed so they could play more Saturday games because they hate everything and everybody. They make our Twitch chat room look like a bunch of nice people. That was a shot at all of you for your negativity. Yes, it was. I want you to know that. Because they want to squash everything. And when the NFL realized they could play on Christmas and squash the NBA, they did it. And when college football had a playoff, their farm system, their free effing farm system, they lined up 2 great games across from the playoff. 2 great games. They did it again this year.
Right.
They got the Eagles playing, and then they've got the Packers and Bears. I mean, this is no holds barred win at all cost for the NFL. So if you only have 2 weekends in which the NFL can't play on Saturday, you got to have your playoff on one of those Saturdays. You just do.
Maybe both. And that's the reality. Maybe both. And that's where, are we moving the season up? Are we taking rivalry weekend from the weekend after Thanksgiving to the weekend before Thanksgiving? Are you guys really going to insist on holding on to these conference championship games? And until proven otherwise, the answer is yes, because it's a cash cow that they don't have to share. And so then can you do this where you're trying to be as big as you can be while not competing with the NFL? By federal law, you have 2 Saturdays that the NFL cannot compete with you. Are you really only going to play your playoff on one of those Saturdays? Or if you were sitting in a room and objectively laying out, okay, let's get this straight. If we move the season up, that's another weekend we don't compete with the NFL. We can play 3 weekends of games, 2 in August, and then we can get Labor Day weekend because they don't play till this Thursday after Labor Day weekend. We could, in theory, have 3 weekends where we're bigger than the NFL.
And then the first 2 rounds of your playoff, because we're going to 16. And the odds are when we go to 16, I think there's a very good chance that the first 2 rounds will be on campus.
Hope so.
Should be.
Yeah. I think it's unfair to the best 4 teams in the country. I mean,
yeah, Indiana's the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
I mean, think of all that Indiana's done this year to earn the number 1 seed. They went to Oregon, won. And I know you don't think a lot of Penn State, but there was still talent on that team. They went to Penn State and won.
Went to Iowa and won.
Then they beat the Buckeyes.
Right.
The badass Buckeyes. They took them down. Do you know what they get? Another neutral site game, maybe against Oregon or Texas Tech. But, let's just say Oregon wins. They got to play Oregon again. They already beat them at their place. Now they got to beat them in a neutral site game? What kind of reward is that?
Well, and before that, they'll have to play a neutral site game against the winner of Oklahoma, Alabama. So, yeah. I mean, Indiana deserved not just the money from hosting a first-round playoff game, but the program, the city, the fan base. They deserve that moment where James Madison comes to town and they whack him, but it's just a big celebration for 48 to 72 hours about, hey, look at what we've accomplished. Look at what we've done. Isn't it great to be a Hoosier? And then, okay, the meat of the playoffs begins. It's a first-round NCAA tournament game in basketball. Only it should be at home. Think we agree on that. Now, scheduling is going to get tough, though. Mark, if you want to expand this sucker to 16, that's 8 games in the first round.
I know.
When are you going to play them? You going to play them Friday, Saturday? You're not going to get 8 exclusive windows here. All right? You're going to try to play a Sunday morning playoff game before the NFL? The NFL lose their minds. Okay, I mean, seriously, I will say it is the one thing, and I believe it's a big thing, that may prevent this from going to 16, is how are we going to do the first round?
And maybe you're right. Maybe you're right, but I do believe whatever they do, the second round game should be on campus.
I agree with that.
Because, and, Indiana's playing in the Rose Bowl. So now you're telling the Indiana fan that you've got to go to Pasadena to see your team play. You'd have a hell of a lot better advantage, particularly against Alabama, if they win, of playing that game in Bloomington. I mean, and not to mention, I think there's a lot of us out there that would like to see some SEC teams, and Tennessee had to do it last year, but I think we'd like to see a big-time game, whether it's in Happy Valley or Columbus or Ann Arbor or Madison, with the SEC team having to play in the elements.
The more I think about this, the more problematic the scheduling is.
Could you do 2 Thursday, 2 Friday, 4 Saturday?
Well, but that's just it. First off, and it almost happened this year, do you have to get the Army-Navy game in early because one of them could be in the playoff? Don't laugh. Navy lost out on being in the American Conference Championship game on a tiebreaker. Last year, Army played, I think, in the conference championship game and then, lost the Army-Navy game. So the college football schedule is problematic. They're competing with the calendar. They're competing with the NFL. But once again, more proof. Man, that second Saturday in December, that's a great day to be playing college football. And Army-Navy has benefited from it now for a generation. And it has really elevated that game. It's likely to go away. And Mark, I don't even know how they protect the time slot. If we're going to keep adding playoff teams and adding playoff games, I don't know how they can afford to say to Army-Navy, hey, we'll give you noon to 3.
I don't either. And I don't think they should. I'm sorry. I know I'm the bad guy in this, but as much as I don't want to see both James Madison and Tulane in the playoff, I think the ratings for these two games that ESPN sold off to Turner are going to be dreadful.
Oh, dreadful. It's why, by the way, I don't understand people who are complaining about the time of game for the Miami A&M. You do know why it's at noon, right? It's because the NFL's not starting until 4. So ESPN Friday night will have it to themselves to show Oklahoma, Alabama, and then Saturday at noon, they'll have it to themselves to show you Miami and A&M. And then they'll let Oregon and James Madison and Tulane and Ole Miss play on Turner up against the NFL, which might as well be in the witness protection program.
And, you're onto something. With 12, it's 4 and then 4.
Right.
Even if you move it up a week, you can schedule that on Saturday and Friday. 1 Friday, 3 Saturday. You stay away from the National Football League. Right. Then you move to New Year's Day with your semifinals.
Correct. You can play your semis and your final, and you can work around the calendar in the NFL. And I know they do it now because they're playing their semis on a Thursday and a Friday, and then their championship game on a Monday and around the NFL playoffs. But it ain't working for them. The semifinal ratings last year, think of who was in the semis last year. Notre Dame, Penn State, Ohio State, Texas, ratings were not good. Not compared to past years. This is primetime games, major network. Ratings down for those 4 teams.
And, look at who the top 4 are this year. Let's just say everything holds. You've got Indiana, Texas Tech, Georgia, and Ohio State. Do you think Indiana and Texas Tech's going to rate? If Indiana-Oregon was the next best game on CBS, trust me, Indiana-Texas Tech's not going to rate. It's just not. Miller and Moulton. The Great Eight ahead. Seth Everett on the other side. Bud Elliott as well next hour to talk college football playoffs.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
Think we only fix windows? Think again. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business does so much more to upgrade your home. We custom build stunning shower and bath enclosures, install sleek glass doors and windows, and can bring fresh life to foggy or cracked panes. Need a glass tabletop or a statement mirror? Yep, we do that too. If it's glass and it's in your home, we're the team to call.
Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you can be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Morning, Seth.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm good. Real quick, are you guys doing a show next week?
No.
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 All right. And I can't do the week between Christmas and New Year's anyway.
And we're not doing one that day either.
Okay. I'll be in London.
That's right.
And then I can come back when you guys come back.
One of someone like one of the soccer parents from my daughter's team walked up to me and goes, "Man, that's pretty cool that your one guest there is going to see Arsenal, man. That's awesome." Like that was his first comment to me about the show on Saturday morning. It was not about it. Hey man, that's so awesome he's going to that game. That's really cool.
That's so funny. People remember random things. You're like, what about the top five?
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
We are halfway home on this hump day. So we're right smack dab in the middle of our week, at least in the 239, the 904 in Tampa, St. Pete. Final hour of the show. Port Charlotte, Venice, Live Oak, Lake City, and surrounding areas. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. It's that day and time where Seth Everett joins us. He of two terrific podcasts, Sports with Friends, Hall of Justice. Follow him on X at Seth_Everett. So you were displaying the Syracuse mug that you were drinking coffee or tea or whatever it is out of.
Espresso.
Did you hear the comments of your former basketball coach in an interview he did either yesterday or the day before, in which he said, well, guys, shouldn't be surprised why we're not any good anymore. We're spending $2 to $3 million and we need to be spending 10.
Yeah. Yep.
Just curious, all you rich members of the media, okay, so when are you going to, chip in and save your basketball program? Come on now. Come on. I mean, you guys have a cavalcade of, of announcers who are making big bucks. Come on, let's get with the program.
Yeah. I'm sure the Syracuse program will get resurrected because of the workings of Andrew Catalon and Dave Pash. And we'll get that Tirico money. What are we talking about?
I was going to say, McDonough. I mean, what are you talking about?
It is. I know David's just busting chops, and I know he knows he's just busting chops.
I know.
But that's the reality of this. People out there think that it's this level that will do it. And when you discuss, to me, what just told you that certain people you think have money and don't is the whole Michigan situation.
Right.
When Sharon Moore gets fired and all that goes on, and Dave Portnoy was caught blindsided by it. Everybody thinks Portnoy's, and he's got money. I mean, bought the biggest house in Marathon, bought the biggest house on Nantucket. He's doing just fine.
Right. It's not eating ramen noodles for dinner.
Right. But he ain't in the league of big booster. Right. To tell and I don't know who Syracuse has. I don't know who the people are that the real alums that don't work for networks but own networks, if you know what I mean, if they're willing to step up, because my alma mater just got their biggest gift ever, $400 million. I didn't know who the hell the guy was, never heard of him until wow, look at that. And until you have that type of financial backing, you're just an also ran in sports.
Yeah, I mean, this is getting in the weeds, but there was some guy, I think his name was Adam something. He was a billionaire, and he used to bring, this is before NIL, so a little bit before COVID, he would bring like Jimmy Fallon and Tom Brady to the Dome to watch Syracuse basketball, and he was basically a booster that was doing everything under the table. And Syracuse didn't like it, so they kind of called him out, and so he stopped. And then NIL comes, and where is he? he's missing. My friend Ton Thomas did a podcast about it, and Syracuse the university got all mad about it. It was a whole to do. Look, this is what college sports is. College sports stinks. Why do I have the mug? because I'm loyal, and I'll watch the game tonight. They play Mercyhurst at 7:00, and I'll watch, and I'll watch it, but I won't be as invested as I am in other things. But I'm loyal, and I'm loyal to a fault. I saw the Syracuse lacrosse schedule got released, and their first game is against Boston University. One of my daughter's best friends just committed to Boston University. So I sent a text. I said, tell Emory, hey, it's on. Just February 1st. We're taking on the Terriers. And, it's just, that's what college sports has been reduced to. No stakes. And it's boring.
Huh. You're in the minority. Now it may
No.
be...
I'm in the minority. Against the haves. The Alabamas and the Michigans and the Ohio States and the Big Ten and the SEC. There are the haves, but the riffraff is bored to tears by this. And you're talking about a 16-team playoff, so that's fine, because when you're the 52nd best team, it doesn't make a difference. If you have 16, 20, 24, you want to have 32 teams, you want to have 64 teams. Big deal.
Okay,
we're not making any of it.
All right, but Seth, realistically, you weren't making it when it was 2 and when it was 4.
Correct.
Okay, so I don't know, why the level of disdain now, okay, when the likelihood of your team playing at the highest level in that sport, I mean, I don't know that it's changed.
It's changed because now it's just out there. And in the past, you could recruit based on whatever shady practices you had. So you would get a Donovan McNabb or a Marvin Harrison. You had Dwight Freeney chose Syracuse at some point, and that was before the NIL days. But now with the portal and everything the way it is, all you are the riffraff. And it's not just a Syracuse thing. This is any program that's in the Big 12 or the ACC that just simply cannot compete financially, and thus will be left out when this 2030 Super League comes, or whatever the realignment is coming in college football. It's good to be a Big Ten team right now. It's good to be Wisconsin. It's bad to be Syracuse.
Well, it's interesting that you brought up that, because my alma mater is a Big Ten team, and they just got a big donation. We'll see what they do with it. But Seth, if you're not, at least in the Big Ten, the SEC, outside of a couple of schools, they're all in. Mississippi State's got no real shot. I'm sorry, they don't.
That's fine.
Arkansas's got no real shot.
It's not going to be a 1-for-1 swap, but with that Super League comes, they're picking from the top, and you may take elite ACC and Big 12 teams, and there's all kinds of legal ramifications and whatnot and blah blah blah. The whole thing is if you're on the outside looking in, and what I say on my podcast all the time is the cities where the college athletics are the city's sports scene, and you're in the riffraff, it's sad. It hurts the whole morale. And I've seen what happens to communities that just don't care anymore. It stinks.
Well, and I think from your end too, Seth, is that there was some moments of Syracuse football, but we knew this time of year Syracuse was going to be represented, and they're not even in the discussion of college hoop anymore. Right. I mean, they're not on the second.
They're the worst free throw shooting team in Division I. No, that's not even like I'm not boasting that. Like, that's a statistic. They are the worst free throw shooting team. What happens when you play Syracuse is foul them, they're not going to hit it.
Well, it's more than that. They're also just not as good anymore. Okay, that's one of the minor reasons.
Yeah, but they hung with Kansas and only lost because they shot 40% from the line.
No, I understand. Who did they just lose to, though, at home? Hofstra, right.
But
now, I will say,
but they beat Tennessee.
Exactly. And, Hofstra's actually a pretty salty team. But we have discussed for years that the Troys, the FAUs, the FIUs should actually go down a level. And I'm wondering, Seth, and I'm being very serious about this. Jim Mora Jr. just left UConn. to go to
Colorado State.
Colorado State. And he basically did it because it's like, listen, playing football as an independent's too hard. Can't keep doing this. So he's going to go to, are they joining the Pac-12, Mark, or are they staying in the Mountain West?
No, I believe they're
Colorado
going to the Pac-12. I thought they were.
The new
So,
Pac-12.
but Seth, what I'm wondering, now that it's been a generation, should the Syracuses, the Boston Colleges, the Pitts, UConn, should they form a Big East football conference? And if it costs them in other sports, and yes, it will cost them revenue, but you know what? Shouldn't they kind of play with their own? Shouldn't they stop pretending and drowning, in the big leagues?
Yep.
Be a 4A school, if you will, but, play the teams you want to play. And pick the sports that you think you can compete at the highest level against.
Yeah, but the broadcasting alums in the group text that I'm in, yes, we all want that, but they don't. The school doesn't want that. They don't want to portray that. They don't want to. They don't want to sell that. They sell Division I sports as much as they sell their communication school. That's what
I understand. But if they went back to the Big East and then, and conditions of joining,
man.
Well, but conditions of joining the Big East, BC, Pitt, Syracuse, you will come up with a couple others.
St. John's,
but they would say to the Big East, hey, if you want us to come back, we got to play football. So you got to form a football conference. And then in theory, Seth, the Sun Belt champion, just made the national playoff. There's always going to be room for at least one non-power conference team, in theory, going forward, just for antitrust reasons. I really think I could make the compelling argument. There's about 30, 40 schools that are trying to play at the highest level and drowning that really could drop down a notch and do much better.
But maybe that's what happens when the Super League gets formed. That you're not going to rename the Big 12 the Riffraff, right?
It doesn't have a very good ring to it. You are onto something there, Seth.
Could you imagine what this segment would have been if I didn't have this mug?
Well, there's other things to talk about. We just picked a topic and ran with it.
I know.
All right. Well, by the way, this is our last moment of 2025. Okay, we're not going to talk the rest of the year. You're going to leave in a week or so. You're heading to across the pond.
I may not come back.
Okay.
Have you been singing London Calling by The Clash just randomly as your trip approaches?
No, I have my London playlist with North London Forever and all these other songs. I've been jamming. My kids are like, "Can you shut that off, please?"
30 seconds.
Sports with Friends, Hall of Justice, 2 Jews on Christmas. What do you got?
Next week. That's next week. Daryl Ryder, who is the Cleveland Browns reporter for 92.3 The Fan in Cleveland. He's one of those nice guys in the business who always says yes. And back when we were doing MLB radio, he was our AL Central correspondent. Daryl Ryder on Sports with Friends. And Hall of Justice, last one of the year, Star Wars Visions, Season 3.
Just what we need, more spinoffs. Seth Everett, Sports with Friends, Hall of Justice. And early merry and happy and safe travels. Be well, my friend.
Same to you guys.
Seth Everett here on Miller and Moulton.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
The holidays are here, and we're wall-to-wall with thousands of GIA diamonds, 350 diamond bracelets, 225 pair of diamond studs, and thousands of other fine jewelry pieces, including Rolex watches.
And this is where Todd and I come in. We're in the store, right here with you, making sure you get the best value.
With this kind of selection and us guiding you through it, your gift will be the star of the season.
Visit the Diamond District today. Hablamos Español.
This is Miller and Moulton.
So Trent made his trip to SoFi, and we were texting with him last week, and I asked him if he was going to do any rock clubs, and then he kind of ghosted us. I am very proud of our boy Trent for his travels during his trip to L.A. He went to the Whiskey, he went to the Troubadour, he got himself a Motley Crue poster from 1982 of the Crew at the Whiskey. Sonny's just walk across Abbey Road there made me think of that. So I thought I would share a little update on one of our former guys there. Yeah, I'm jealous too. I've been to LA once in my life and I was like 13. So I obviously might have been younger than that. I obviously didn't do any rock clubs. Adam, I love that I'm talking about the Troubadour and the Whiskey A Go-Go, and you come back with Toto and Christopher Cross. I mean, you go yacht rock on us, and I love you for it, Adam. I do. I absolutely love you for it. Oh, wow. That's pretty cool, Sonny. I mean, I don't even know if I've never been to, like, quote unquote, a great rock venue. The only one I can actually, Cobo had a lot of big shows. Kiss Alive was recorded at Cobo. I saw a show at Cobo, but I've seen a lot of great concerts, but I don't recall ever being what would be a great rock venue that I've been to. Have you been to Asbury Park, David, like to the Stone Pony and those in your life?
Oh, yeah.
I figured as much.
I saw Bruce at the Stone Pony.
Really?
He just
On
showed
purpose?
up. No.
Okay.
No. He kind of did what he did the other day. Somebody was playing and he just showed up. Does the Garden count?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's
Okay.
the number one venue in the world. Come on.
I just asking. I mean, obviously I'm biased and I do think the acoustics there are great. So, seen a lot of acts there. Bruce, Billy Joel, Rush, Bryan Adams.
think I saw Billy Joel at Cobo too, now that I think of it.
It was interesting when I saw Bryan Adams. It was the album, was it Reckless, that he made it big on?
Right.
And he got poignant for a moment in the concert in which he said, you know, as a young kid growing up in Canada, I dreamed, this was my dream, to one day headline the Garden.
I mean, yeah, it's like it was at that Youngblood dude I was listening to when he met his guitar. We're going to play Wembley. He's like, I just wanted to get a gig at that point.
Right.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Bud Elliott coming up in a little more than 15 minutes' time. Needless to say, we'll talk some college football with Bud. Hell, the playoffs are getting underway on Friday. Are you ready? Is it a little bit out of sight, out of mind? I mean, last weekend, you know, outside Army, Navy, it's a little FCS, but you got to be a hardcore fan to be paying attention to that. Although, and I did not plan on bringing this up, did you see what tickets are going for in Montana for the Montana State FCS semifinal?
Wow. I don't know. I might be moving to Montana soon to raise me up a crop of that dental floss, but I don't know what the second coming of Montana State is going for.
As of yesterday, cheapest ticket was $760.
That's outrageous. Seriously, that's nuts. For Montana State? My phone just thought I said something different than seriously and started beeping and going nuts.
I believe that was, and I'm getting the hiccups here, I believe that was upper deck end zone, and I don't know how big the stadium is. But Mark, tickets like in between the 20s, $1,000.
For Montana State?
Well, you tell me, if you're in Montana, what is bigger than...
Wow. These hiccups really got you. You fooled me there with that mute. I mean, now you got to hit the unmute though, because you're not coughing.
I understand, but I also have to drink enough water to try to get rid of the hiccups. I mean, you know, you're supposed to be helping me here, not pointing it out.
Boo! How did that work?
Not well.
Okay,
but yes. What is this? The Grizzlies and the Bobcats, I think. One of them's going to play for the national championship. I'm telling you. But think about it. If you live there,
standing room only tickets are $539.
That's standing room only. By the way, outdoors in Montana,
right,
in mid-December. Hello,
Bobcat Stadium in Bozeman.
I mean, what does it hold? Like 12?
Horseshoe shaped. I don't have a capacity for you, David. But you are right. Tickets are going. Any seat in the place is going for over $700.
Right. I think this is awesome. I love everything about this. I hope they play 3 overtimes. I hope it's. I just. There may never be a bigger football game played in that state than what is about to take place.
And this is a semi. This isn't even the finals.
But the final is at a neutral location. Right. I believe it's Jera's practice place in Frisco, Texas. And so, but the winner is guaranteed. I mean, think about it. The 2 FCS programs in the state are playing in the national semifinal. So one of them is going to get to play for the national championship, having to go through the other. I love everything about this. This is, for all the stuff that can depress you about big-time college sports right now and what have you, this is the stuff I still love. It's why I don't think it would be bad, by the way, for some of the schools that are playing at the highest level now to drop down one. I really don't. I think this is cool. I'm sorry. I mean, if FAU and FIU played in a national semi, okay, to go to play for the FCS National Championship, you mean to tell me that wouldn't be cool?
Maybe it would be cool. I think you'd be able to get tickets for $11.
Well, maybe.
I mean, I'm just saying, this part of the world,
maybe
they don't care unless it's at the highest level.
Maybe, but then again, if you're winning, if you're nationally ranked, if you're winning, not to sound like Charlie Sheen from back in the day, winning, but I mean, come on now. I mean, fighting, even FIU, didn't they go like 7-4 this year and they're in a lesser bowl? Oh, okay, great. Would you rather be that? That's a good year. That's a good year. That or ranked top 10 in the FCS, hosting in and playing in national playoff games.
By the way, FIU playing the day after Christmas, they're an 8.5-point dog. Montana State is favored by 4.5 in this game, David. Just want to let you know. But the other side of it is the over-under's 56.5. I mean, they actually expect there to be some points in this game.
Right.
So it should be entertaining.
I mean, that's, 31, give or take a couple points, 31-27. By the way, being told from FCS country that apparently the Frisco Stadium is under renovation, so they had to move the FCS championship this year to Nashville. Huh? How about that?
Well, there you have it. Montana State. Did not know we were going there. Didn't expect.
I didn't either. But come on now. $550 standing room? We were just talking during the break about concerts and what have you. I mean, come on. If we lived out there, would you pay it? Because I would.
David, if I lived out there, that would mean that I have money, and I would already be in Florida in my winter home.
You wouldn't fly back for the game?
No.
I would.
No, that would require socks. And that's something that I'm against unless I'm wearing golf shoes.
We're really supposed to play along. You weren't.
No, I am playing along.
No, you're not.
I'm giving you 100% honest answers. I'm not lying to you. I know. If I lived out there full time and someone offered me a suite, I might do it because it's too damn cold to go watch that game.
Ah, come on. It's the biggest sporting event in the history of the state.
I think you're right. I think you're right. Big day for Montana.
I'd be all over it. I would.
If the whole state watches the game, would it actually get a rating?
No. Are there 1 million people in the state? No.
How many moose and or elk would have to watch the game along with all of the people in Montana for the game to get a rating?
Bring your moose or elk to the game, okay, and get 50% off parking. I don't know. That's the part of college sports I still love. I still romanticize.
Well, and that is still close to what we think college sports was.
Yeah.
Although don't kid yourself, they're getting NIL there too.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a few kids getting paid. Yeah. Uh-huh. By the way, there were a few kids getting paid. As Ed Orgeron said, we used to just pay him through the back door. Now we can just walk through the front door. Aren't you then compelled after when you're done to say, go Tigers?
I'm compelled to say how much. When you were with Joe Burrow in that restaurant parking lot and you told him that if I don't get you, I lose my job.
Right.
If I get you, we're going to win a national title. What I'd really like to know is the next 3 minutes of that conversation when actual negotiations were going on. What were you paying Joe Burrow to come to LSU? That to me is more fascinating. Like, I am hoping, because the NCAA has no ruling anymore, and I know if they found out someone was paid, they could probably take away a title. I want one day for these guys to start coming clean with what they got. I'd love to know, because I had heard stories going back to when I was in college. You know, Andre Rison went to Michigan State. He, through a friend of a friend, he told stories of recruiting, of just going in and there was cash laying on the bed when he went there. And the money that he took for schools that he didn't go to.
My understanding is it's not in the area code. Like, the word was Cam Newton was 180 grand to go to Mississippi State, and then he ended up at Auburn. So what are you thinking? 200,000? Bud Elliott's next.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512. This December, watch the nation's best high school basketball players compete in the City of Palms Classic. Fort Myers will once again welcome future college and NBA stars as they square off at Suncoast Arena from December 18th through the 23rd. Come see Southwest Florida's own Bishop Verreau versus Barron Collier on Sunday night, December 21st. For tournament information, please visit cityofpalmsclassic.com. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
This is Miller and Moulton.
David, as a couple people pointed out on the chat, on the text line rather, Southwest Florida's population is a little greater than that of Montana.
Right. Yep.
I would probably take Rivers' logic, man. Cam couldn't throw it at the end. Now, maybe he can, but Cam was good because he can run. Old Cam, I don't think, can be effective running. So I would have gone with Rivers. I know Cam was pissed, but I would have gone with Rivers.
I would have gone with Rivers too. Plus, he knows Steichen's offense. He inserted it in his own high school team. I mean, yeah. If physically, they brought him in for a workout. If physically he could do it.
So, David, I have to laugh. This is petty of me, but I'll let everybody in on this. So the school that my daughter goes to sent out a little thing wanting donations for getting the teachers gifts for Christmas. So I DM'd the lady, said, give me your Venmo, and I sent her some cash. She said, thank you. and said, "What is your daughter's name so I can include her in a thank you on the Facebook page?" And I gave her my daughter's name.
Okay.
She has since that point put 3 different Facebook posts up thanking people and their families. Yet to see my daughter's name.
Have you reminded her?
No, I don't do that. Just let it go. I'll be petty in here. Hi, bud.
What's going on, guys?
You know, same stuff, different day.
No doubt. A little college ball playoff talk.
That's right.
We were just talking Montana State, baby.
Oh, Brawl of the Wild.
Cheapest seats, about $750. Standing room, $550.
I mean, that's
You want a good seat, it's going to cost you at least $1,000. That's
pretty
go.
awesome. You know, that is cool though.
Yeah, I think it's the best. Quite frankly, I think FIU, FAU, I think they should drop down and play at this level.
I've always thought the most interesting case study with that, and I've said it for years on the show, is App State. Because App State dominated at that level. They jumped to D1. They've been really good at the top level. They've gone to a bowl game, I think, every year, but maybe this year. Has it been worth it to them? Like, I don't financially, have they made money, lost money? I am just curious how that's changed that school.
I assume they've made a lot more money than they would have otherwise. Just that's my guess based on going to D1, you know. But I don't know that, I guess, right?
But I mean, obviously they get a TV contract in some way, shape, or form. But with the scholarship increases, I'm fascinated. I would love to talk to someone if they're happy with the move they made.
We're on Twitch. I know somebody there I could ask.
I would find. I mean, that's always because they're the best case study to me. They've done better, since making the jump than any other school.
I agree. What's his name? Patrick. All right, I'll figure that out.
All right, I can't wait to hear.
Maybe I'll text you back during the show.
I love it.
That'd be cool.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till Chris Perkins joins us to talk all things Dolphins. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Bud Elliott, kind enough to join us right now. A couple podcasts, CBS, 24/7 Sports. Nothing going on this time of the year for Bud. Follow him on X at Bud Elliott, 2 L's, 2 T's, the number 3, Bud Elliott 3. So, were you able to catch your breath a little bit last weekend, or not really?
Yeah, I was. I don't do Army Navy. It's just kind of like not like I'm not anti-Army or anti-Navy. I just like that. That's a good weekend for me to take off.
Right.
So yeah. I didn't watch it, and I just didn't do any college football. So I was like with the Sharon thing going down, like that was wild, obviously. But yeah, it was a good little refresh.
Who's taking the Michigan job, and how much does this outside investigation that's probably going to blow out the AD and maybe the president affect who they hire?
I don't know who's taking it. I would not dismiss the candidates that you already have, right? With DeBoer, Jed Fish, Dillingham.
Can we stop with DeBoer? Okay.
Do we have to?
Yeah, no. I just want to stop about him specifically. He keeps coming out saying, not interested, not taking the job, happy here. He even released a statement talking about how happy his family is in Tuscaloosa to try to quiet those they don't like life there. Okay. But isn't his agent the one letting everybody know, okay, that he's very much candidate for the Michigan job?
So on Penn State, I know some other guys in the industry heard that basically he was going to let his name be floated, but wasn't going anywhere. I've not heard the same isn't going anywhere piece about Michigan. So like I was very steadfast as far as like, all right, this Penn State thing is a smokescreen to create leverage and appreciation with Alabama. I don't know if Michigan is. So I'm not fully dismissing DeBoer now.
Okay.
Like Fish obviously jumps jobs every 2 years, so like you really can't dismiss him. And then obviously Dillingham is like an upcoming coach, and it's a weird time. Like some of these guys that were in the cycle got extensions out of it. So like how willing are you to pay a buyout for a Clark Lee or an Eli Drinkwitz or you know whoever you want to go after, like guys who just got extended? I don't know like what the appetite is for that in Michigan. Also, like who's running this search?
Right.
Also, Jesse Mentor. Now, you just follow me here. You just saw Jeremy Pruitt get an injunction from a court against his show cause order. Mentor's show cause runs out in April. You could get an injunction basically saying like that's you know that thing is done, and you probably wouldn't get the injunction overturned until after the show cause ran out anyway. So if you wanted to move on Jesse Mentor, if he's not going to get an NFL head coaching job, you just go get yourself an injunction, hire him immediately.
For those that don't know, Minter was the D coordinator in Michigan with Harbaugh when they won. He followed Harbaugh to the Chargers. He's still DC. So continue.
And he's doing a great job.
I just wonder if they can go down that tree with all of the problems that have come from the recruiting violations, the coach that was downloading the file. I mean, there's just a lot of ugliness that came from that group. I know they won a natty, but there's a lot of ugliness, and I wonder with this investigation if they can go back to that well.
I mean, it's ugliness from the outside, and I think certain aspects are ugliness to the inside, but I bet you a lot of Michigan people would fully sign up for the last 5 years again.
Oh, yeah. Totally. They
did. Like, I bet you that they don't care.
Okay.
Like, if they beat Ohio State, does any of this stuff come out?
Probably not.
I think so.
Because of how it went sideways with his personal life?
Yes, because I think she showed up in the office and said, by the way, he's threatening me and everything you thought was true. So I actually think it would have happened. Let me ask you this. Had you heard anything about this before it blew up? Because now everybody's doing I heard in July, I heard in September, I heard 3 weeks ago. And I'm just curious, did you hear any sordid details before it blew up?
Yes, but not in the summer. Like with a month to go in the season, I think people knew like, hey, we need to potentially be ready for a Michigan emergency podcast.
Huh.
But I didn't know like the full details of it. But I think people knew that there was something going on with like a potential for cause type situation.
Okay.
But I don't want to claim like, yeah, we knew like he was done. No, just like, hey, be on alert. Like, is Michigan to make a move here type thing?
Before we get into all the games this weekend, David and I were discussing the playoff going forward and the college football schedule going forward. We all know they've got a couple Saturdays in December before the NFL can play. All the talk of going to 16. David made an excellent point. 16 can be a logistical nightmare from a scheduling standpoint. Where do you see the college football schedule starting and regular season, whether we still have conference championships or not, ending by the end of the decade, bud?
I think you probably have to start it earlier, or you have to compress it into the holiday season, which can you cannibalize like what is the current bowl season more? Because people watch those bowl games, right?
Yep.
Like they do numbers. Like you're still drawing like a 2 million number for some random Saturday bowl game, whether or not whether or not any of the players that you and I, because we're college football fans, know, like you're like your uncle sitting at home doesn't watch college football, he watches NFL, but it happens to be on because he's home from work. He knows what the jerseys look like. He watches the game. So if for some reason like those ratings started to go down, I wonder if they wouldn't be cooler like pushing playoff inventory into those bowl spots.
Into the actual bowl games? Like, do you think the bowl system is surviving by the end of the decade? Or do you think that, listen, we can't, between conference championship games, everybody wants to keep everything. It seems like something has to get cannibalized here.
I wouldn't be surprised if ESPN gives up some of these lesser bowls that they own, because they are getting a little bit like comical to fill,
Yes.
No doubt.
Go back a decade ago, we've had like 38% expansion of postseason games since 2015.
Yeah, and it's all for nights like last night.
Right.
ESPN needs the programming, and so Jacksonville State and Troy are playing in a Veterans Bowl, okay, in Montgomery, Alabama. Okay,
Yeah.
2 nearby schools, good for the community. They love their football in the South, and we get 1.5 million people to watch us who otherwise wouldn't be watching us.
I threw it on, I mean, like it's just something to put on. Like, I'm not going to watch NBA.
I did. All right. Alabama and Oklahoma. Obviously, Georgia got their second crack at Bama. It was good enough for the Dogs to win the SEC title. Alabama now gets their second crack at Oklahoma. Will it be enough for the Crimson Tide?
I think they get it done. Not saying that with extreme confidence. Obviously, like we've seen 13 data points or 12 data points on these teams. The spread's like 1 point. But I trust Simpson a lot more than I trust Mateer. Assuming Simpson is like healed up, if he actually was hurt, I think there is some chance that he maybe was. So looking at that like that, I think Alabama just has more dynamic playmakers, and I do trust them more than an offense who has looked bad against everybody they played this year, basically in Oklahoma. Oklahoma, they're just so turnover dependent, man. And I just don't know if I can trust that to happen every single game. Like there's a big luck factor there.
But Bama can't run the ball against average defenses. They're certainly not going to run it against Oklahoma, which means they're going to have to throw it to move the ball, which does what? Bring turnovers into play. I mean, this is very much a styles make a fight game. Okay, you're right, but Bama's got the weaponry. In theory, they should be able to score more than Oklahoma. But in trying to get the ball to that weaponry, they may throw 2 picks.
I mean, like I agree, it's very possible, but Mateer can also throw picks too, right? It's not like Oklahoma moved the ball at all against Alabama. I mean, Bama, it was like 407 to 205. It basically doubled them up yardage-wise.
All right, Miami and A&M, 11 o'clock Central start, and I bring that up for a reason. A&M's got a great atmosphere, and it affected Miami the last time they went to A&M a few years back, but that was a night game in September. This is an 11 a.m. kick. Does that help Miami? Miami we know is very good. They're equal to most everybody in the country line of scrimmage. Beck can have good games, and Beck can be the guy that Georgia fans goes, I'm so happy he's gone. When you look at A&M and Miami, do you see a clear-cut advantage anywhere?
I slightly like Miami here at the number. I do think like the only offensive line that A&M has faced that's anywhere close to Miami's is the Irish. And Notre Dame scored 40, and Notre Dame's defense is not as good as Miami's defense, So I don't really trust Marcel Reed. I think A&M and Elko have done a tremendous job with that team to win 11 games this year. But they also kind of got like the Virginia thing in the ACC, where they just had such a favorable draw within the SEC. Like they didn't play Georgia. They didn't play Alabama. Like there's so many teams. Like they didn't play Oklahoma. Like there's so many teams they didn't face in the SEC this year. They got like the Kentucky, Mississippi State, Florida, South Carolina, quad of teams that just aren't competitive. And like that's a pretty big deal, honestly. Like to avoid playing all your best teams, they played one decent D line since week 2 is Texas, and Texas whipped them. So I'm a little bit. I'm not saying A&M's fraud. I don't think they are. And it's not like Miami's played a murderer's row of a schedule. But I do think Miami's a little bit better, man. And I trust Carson Beck more than I trust Marcel Reed. I'm not saying Beck's been amazing, but like I do think he is a more trustworthy player than Reed.
Any Notre Dame repercussions from the last 2 weeks? And is that agreement whether it's a handshake agreement or whether it's actually written down somewhere, is that now in effect going forward, where if Notre Dame is in the top 12, they will get a bid?
I have not dug further on that. Like I would assume that the AD wouldn't just tell that to Dellinger if it's not official, because like why would you blab on that if it wasn't official yet? Because you would give people the opportunity to maybe go make it unofficial, right? So I'm assuming that is true, unless somebody else is going to report that it's not. I can ask around, I guess. But I was operating on the assumption that it was like done. I don't think there's any real repercussions about them skipping a bowl game. Pete Sampson, who works for Irish Illustrated, really good site on 24/7. He had a list of players that Notre Dame was projecting to opt out of a bowl had they played, and it was like 3/4 of their starters. So you would have had a Florida State, Georgia situation all over again. And I just think teams that have that are pretty smart to opt out of these bowls.
Speaking of which, is there a bowl game in the next few days? Like South Florida lost their coach. How many players are opting? Is there an advantage to the line that you're seeing that Vegas hasn't caught up with because of opt-outs?
So, man, they move pretty fast. I will say this North Texas thing, right? This is one a lot of people are watching. So North Texas playing. What day are they playing here? What night is North Texas?
On the 27th against San Diego State.
Right. Okay. So on North Texas, the line says that Mestamaker for North Texas, the quarterback, is definitely not playing. Right. There's some media reports out there saying that it's like undecided. Now it kind of comes down to like, who do you believe? You believe the people that already bet this thing pretty hard, assuming Mestamaker is not going to play, which honestly is probably where I come down. But there are also guys who have covered North Texas for quite a while who are like, hey, like this is not done. If he plays, that line is like crazy short. If he doesn't, I think the line is basically correct. So you don't have a free roll because the VIG's involved, but you kind of have a free roll here if you want to bet North Texas. If he does play, like that thing's going to jump to over a touchdown.
Got about a minute. Is there anything going on with the Ole Miss quarterback? I keep seeing a lot of stuff like whether or not he's definitely all in for the playoffs. See, if they go a certain distance, he may have to opt out because he's probably not returning. I mean, are there any issues like that out there?
I don't know anything about like the long-term piece. I'm fully expecting him to be full go this weekend.
All right. Tulane got any shot at all in the rematch?
I don't really think so. I think like ultimately their secondary is still really bad, and Retzlaff has been running around a lot against American competition. But like when he faced them last time, Ole Miss chased him down just fine. So
okay,
I'm not saying like Ole Miss hammers them. I think it's probably closer. They're not going to win 45-10 most likely. And there's also like there's no real impetus to keep the hammer down if you're Ole Miss because you got to go play a game in a week, right? So whereas like traditionally Ole Miss under Kiffin is a rankings manipulator, like they just try to score like crazy to make the power ratings look good. I wouldn't be surprised if they like shut it down in the second half, but I think you're going to get a pretty fired up effort.
All right. Bud Elliott. The occasional no-cast because, Florida State's not serious about football anymore. Cover 3.
Yeah, that's going great over there.
24/7 sports,
Merry Christmas, bud, if we don't talk.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, guys.
Thanks for everything.
For sure.
All the best to you and the family. Follow him on X at Bud Elliott, the number 3. Bud Elliott 3. Bud Elliott from 24/7 joining us here on Miller and Moulton.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
When Glass Doctor replaces your windshield, we don't just send you on your way, we send you off protected. Your local Glass Doctor includes the industry's only 12-month windshield protection plan at no extra cost. That means unlimited chip repairs and even a one-time replacement if needed. High-quality service backed by real peace of mind, right here in your neighborhood.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor. Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Exclusions apply. See your local glass doctor for
Your
details.
roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000 depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
Football season is back, and celebrate your game day with Jimmy the Beef Guy. We're talking tender, juicy Chicago beef sandwiches. Whether your party's for 10, 100, or 200, bring game day to your house with Jimmy the Beef Guy. The catering packages come with the beef, the gravy, the peppers, the bread, everything you need. 2 convenient locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. Skip the ordinary and bring the beef. Jimmy the Beef Guy, Chicago flavor, Southwest Florida style. Call today or visit jimmythebeefguy.com. Tell him Miller and Moulton sent you.
Basketball's heating up the hardwood. What a great time to stop in at the Floor Meisters and look at their hardwood. A large selection to choose from, including Mirage hardwood flooring. Floor Meisters has a look and style you want. Mirage wood is grown and made in Canada from the finest quality wood flooring you'll find. And while you're in, ask to see the Petite Enfant collection. 5 custom colors made only for the Floor Meisters. So good it has a 35-year warranty. Floor Meisters, 6281 Naples Boulevard, next to Costco, or floormeisters.com.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Javier, I'm not surprised that you say that, because based on our conversations, you love college football more than anything else, and Bud is a terrific college football guest. I don't know if there's anybody in the country that's a better, more knowledgeable college football wise than Bud. I really don't. I mean, because, obviously, and trust me, we love having Gary on, but Bud's watching far more games than Gary ever did. Same if we had a Trent Klatt. I guess, Herb Street's a bigger voice. I think Bud knows more about college football. Like, I'm not saying he's the biggest voice in the sport, but I'd put his knowledge up against anybody that covers the sport. Anybody. And we're lucky because he doesn't have to do this show. He's bigger than this show now. But we had him on when he wasn't, and he respects us for that. Oh, Bud's way better than Feinbaum. Feinbaum's a blowhard. Come on. Does Feinbaum know more about the SEC than Bud? Maybe. He may have some more sources. But I'm with you, Sonny. I'm with you 100%.
Javier, I'd argue that second point tremendously. Never played in a modern passing offense. Was a running quarterback. He's good with a telestrator, but he's a really good communicator. All right. And so I think people come to conclusions about him that he's more intelligent than he is. He doesn't give you a ton of football, but he sounds really good. Not yet, Tim. I'm guessing second tier power 4. I don't think he has to settle for James Madison, but I'm guessing second tier power 4. Oh, God, that hurts.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the Diamond District bonus hour. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Last hour was Seth Everett and Bud Elliott. Chris Perkins scheduled to join us here shortly to talk about the Dolphins and our, well, you figure we're going to have big news either way today from the Dolphins. Will they or won't they, Mark? Will they bench Tua or won't they?
You know, here's the question. I'm kind of going to answer your question with a little bit of a question. If they indeed bench him, doesn't that mean that Stephen Ross has told McDaniel he's staying for next year?
Not necessarily, but I do think that it means that McDaniel and the interim GM have told Stephen Ross that we really would like to move on. And are you okay with that? We'll see what Chris Perkins has to think from the Sun Sentinel, sun-sentinel.com. Follow him on X at Chris Perk, P-E-R-K. So if McDaniel benches Tua today, does that mean it's over? They're cutting him at the end of the year and that they've gone all the way to Mr. Ross about this? What do you think this decision entails?
That's a good question, David. I think they definitely have owner Steve Ross's blessing to replace Tua. I think it's about a 70% chance that Tua gets replaced. Mike McDaniel speaks at 2:45 this afternoon. He said he will probably, not definitely, probably have a decision to announce today. And I think if they do go away from Tua this season, that's probably it for Tua. I don't see if you don't think that he can bring you out of this, and I mean, you know, get the offense, continue the offense playing the way it has, I don't see a future for Tua. And Tua has not been instrumental. He wasn't instrumental in that stretch of winning 5 out of 6 games. His role was very minimal. I think they've seen the future, and it doesn't involve Tua.
How much does injury have to do with it? Because, Chris, if we go back to the early part of McDaniel, and I know we can all recite the records against good teams versus bad teams, but Tua used to be able to throw the ball. I mean, that first pick against Pittsburgh looked like a guy that couldn't throw an NFL pass. How much do we think that this guy, and I don't mean mentally, I mean physically, is he broken?
He's damaged. He's damaged. I think that, and you guys have heard me say this before, I think there's 3 things going on with Tua. Number 1, there's no Tyreek. Number 2, he's got a lot of stuff going on in his head, a lot of voices from Mike McDaniel, the head coach, Frank Smith, the offensive coordinator, Darrell Bevel, the quarterback's coach, and Bobby Slowick, the senior pass game coordinator. Plus, he's got the thoughts of throw it away or slide because we can't have you get hurt. His instinct is gone. And then the number 3 thing is those injuries. He's talked about the ankle injury and the hip injuries, and they've cut down some of his mobility. He didn't have a whole lot of mobility to start with. So I think it's a physical, a mental, and a personnel. They all kind of combine to give us the Tua that we see now.
How do you think it'll go over in the room?
I think it's going to be received pretty well. I think that players understand now that they've been eliminated from the playoff hunt, that the organization has to look to the future. They know, they see what's been going on with Tua. And so I think that most of them, the rookies don't understand this, but the veterans understand once you're eliminated from playoff contention as an organization, you start looking to the future, and I don't think they're going to have a problem with that.
So as we go forward, we had a poll question yesterday or the day before. Should they cut bait with Tua? It's $99 million. Yep, they can do it over 2 years.
Yep.
Denver set the bar when they cut Russ. They took the big hit. This hit, percentage-wise, a cap with where the cap is now versus where it was with Russ. I know it's more money with Tua, but it's about the same percentage of cap. Most of the people in our poll question said, rip the Band-Aid off. Cut him. The difference between them and Denver is Denver had an elite defense. Denver had a plan. It was a good quarterback. Turns out it's going to be a great quarterback drafting class that they were a part of with Knicks and all the others. Can they just cut Tua and move forward?
They can, and I think they should, and I'll tell you why. I don't think that Steve Ross should make the fans pay for his bad decision, meaning buying tickets next year, buying merchandise for a broken quarterback and a system that pretty much is only in there to play out the string, right? Till it's more convenient for you as an owner and as a franchise to get rid of Tua. Don't pass that expense, that frustration, that heartbreak onto the fans. You take it yourself. You take the $99 million hit, and next season you work on the rebuild instead of putting the rebuild off until 2027. Yes, rip the Band-Aid off and show the fans that you give a damn and that you hear them.
You were working Monday. You were in Pittsburgh, correct?
Yep, correct.
So I don't know if you could hear Troy Aikman's comments during the broadcast. You certainly were made aware of them shortly thereafter. Do you think a national voice can influence Stephen Ross? Okay. Like, I didn't see him at the game. I saw Marino. I don't know if Ross was in the box or whatever. I didn't see him. I'm just curious. It's one thing to have talking heads. It's another thing when Troy Aikman basically says, this is a mess. What are we watching? What are they doing? I'm just wondering, does that have any impact, you think, on a Stephen Ross?
I think Steve Ross definitely hears those comments, or he's made aware of those comments. By the way, I didn't see Steve Ross at the game either.
Right.
I'm not sure that he was there. He usually is there. He might have had international business. Who knows? I think he did hear that. He's aware of it. The influence is a good question, though, because, again, if I'm Mike McDaniel and Steve Ross has told me I'm still not sure whether you're coming back next season, if I'm Mike, I'm thinking I can't go 6-11 this year. I need to go 9-8, and my best chance of going 9-8 is with Tua. It's not with Quinn Ewers or Zach Wilson. It's with the quarterback that I groomed. It's with the guy who I built my offense for. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking Mike McDaniel must have an assurance he's coming back next season, or that his future is not tied to these last 3 games. So I think Steve Ross is aware of what Aikman said and what it represented and what it means, but I don't think it's going to influence whether Mike McDaniel returns next season.
All right. We all know Jerry Jones is his own individual character. But the one thing, if you're a Cowboys fan, you may not like that Jerry is your owner/GM, but you never question that he cares immensely about what the Cowboys do, that it's important to him. And I know sometimes he does things just to get the media, but I think at the end of the day, we all think Jerry wants to win. Do we have any idea if Stephen Ross really cares if the Miami Dolphins win?
I do think he cares. I think he cares greatly. I think it's a great source of frustration for him. Everybody who covers the team knows the phrase that Steve Ross always uses. I'm used to being first in class. And it frustrates him that the Dolphins are not a better team, that everything around them is great, the facility, and you see the NFLPA, the Players Association report card of the travel and the way they treat the families and the meals, and all of that is first class, but they just can't win. And look, part of being a good owner is getting the right GM, right? And you've heard me say this, that the reason Mickey Arison, the owner of the Heat, is considered a good owner is because he found Pat Riley. And with Vinny Viola at the Florida Panthers, he found Bill Zito, their GM. That's what Steve Ross needs to do, because the owner doesn't, unless you're Jerry, the owner doesn't really have a hand in the day-to-day or the personnel or anything like that. He hires the right people and allows them to run the organization. So that's what Steve Ross has to do. He cares greatly about winning, but he just can't win. He can't find that right person, and that's on Steve Ross. He's in charge of hiring.
Are we back to 2018? Remember, after 2018 was the decision to essentially tank for Tua, but you know what it meant.
Yep.
Tear it all down.
Yep.
You know, they brought in Brian Flores, okay, and they said, listen, it's going to be rough. And he started, 0-7? I mean, are we back to the final few games of the 2018 season for this franchise?
That's a good question. That's something we have to figure out. To me, a complete teardown is almost not possible, because at this point you're returning Aaron Brewer at center, left tackle Patrick Paul, right tackle Austin Jackson, running back Devon Achane, wide receiver Jalen Waddle, defensive tackle Zach Sealer, linebacker Jordan Brooks. Like, you've got all this talent. You can't just get rid of it. And that's not talent that you're going to go, 5-12 and be able to get yourself a number 5 pick in the draft. So they're almost in between. I don't know what the plan is for next year as far as a rebuild on the fly, a soft rebuild, a complete rebuild. But if you do that complete teardown, that's a lot of talent you have to get rid of. I don't think that's the smart choice. So I don't know what the preferred option is right now for 2026. But the complete teardown, it would be a fire sale.
It's going to be pretty empty the next 2 weeks. I mean, the Bucs are they're in their own troubles, and the Bucs don't. I know it's just across the street, and there'll be Bucs fans that'll make the trip, but it ain't like a Jets game. It ain't like a Bills game where the stadium's going to be 3/4 to 90% full just because of the visiting team. I mean, we've talked about this for a while. The message will be clear on Sunday when they play the Bengals, because there ain't going to be anybody there, is there, Chris?
Yeah, you know what? And I wonder if anybody cares enough to spend money to fly banners over the stadium again. But there's going to be a lot of empty seats, and the Boo Birds are going to be out, and it's going to be very interesting, because even at the last few home games, there were a lot of Baltimore fans in there. There were a lot of Buffalo fans in there. We did hear the Boo Birds. The fans are not happy right now, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of message they send Steve Ross by butts in the seats in these next 2 games. I don't think it's going to be a very positive message. I think that's the message that Steve Ross will hear louder than Troy Aikman criticism, actual butts in the seats, and what kind of mood are they in.
Well, you're going to have an easy piece to write late this afternoon, depending on what Mike McDaniel says at 2:45. Chris, thanks for spending time with us. We appreciate it. If we don't talk, an early Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. We'll try to catch up soon.
Okay, same to you guys. Thanks.
Chris Perkins, Sun Sentinel, sun-sentinel.com, here on Miller and Moulton.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. AmericanPaintSupplies.com. CCC 1332512.
The holidays are here, and our special showcases of overstocks and estate jewelry is waiting.
50% off diamond bracelets, rings, earrings, pendants, even stunning colored gemstone jewelry with tanzanite, sapphire, rubies, and more.
Todd and I are in the store every day to help you uncover the perfect gift.
Wrap up a little magic this year.
Hurry in. These 50% off deals won't last. Only at the Diamond District. Hablamos Espanol.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Buried in Bourbon. What about Eagle moving to Fort Myers? Did I miss your earlier post? I was. But if they want to sponsor the show, I'm readily available to talk to them. It is so weird watching Wemby play basketball. Because there are times that he looks lanky when he's running the floor, but then there are times that he looks so damn smooth, and he's 7'3", 7'4". Gotcha. Favorite time of the year, David? Half day today, half day tomorrow.
For
school. And then no school. Then she's done. No school Friday.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Final hour of Miller and Moulton on this hump day. Our poll question is simple. So where are you on your Christmas shopping? Haven't started? Done? Somewhere in between? So there you go. That Mark Miller, the David Moulton, Miller_Moulton on X. Let us know, because it'll be a week away tomorrow.
Haven't gotten my wife a damn thing. Don't know what to get her. People gave good suggestions, because I told everybody yesterday she wants experiences.
Right.
And I thank all of you for the experiences you gave me. They would cost a lot of money, and neither of you who suggested that offered sponsorship dollars with the suggestion.
Well, I mean, paying for it is one thing. The idea is another.
Right.
Meshing the two together, that's a you problem.
Right.
Right. So
The
anyway.
daughter's pretty much done, although there's probably going to be one more excursion to try to get the daughter a couple more things, because I spoil my child.
Well, I'd like to think we all do, to various degrees.
The son's already been told what he's getting, and he's not getting it on Christmas because he's let me down.
Huh?
No, he had one job to do to get his present. He hasn't done it yet. So until he does his job, I can't do mine.
I have to admit, and I'm very fond of your son, he does seem to put things off, and deadlines don't necessarily work with the young man.
Not at all.
Right. And I mean, some simple things too, like over the years, he's failed miserably. It's like, listen, you just got to get him a card. Got to get him a card, put it in the mail. It has to arrive before their birthday. I'm giving you a 3 weeks head start. Then I give you a 2 weeks warning. No, he sucks.
It really irritates his bonus mom, because there's nobody better
right
at sending out cards than my wife.
Right.
And it drives her nuts.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And quite frankly, Mark, you have to wonder, I mean, at his age, he's mid-20s now. I mean, this is kind of like a player. You wonder, he's been playing the game long enough now. You wonder, hey, is this guy ever gonna get it? I was just reading a piece about Jackson Dart, the Giants quarterback. Is he ever going to understand, stop getting hit?
It doesn't seem that he wants to understand that.
No.
I'm not playing soccer, was his comment. Yeah, we know. Get out of bounds one step earlier, dude. Occasionally slide. Get the first down and go down.
How many times do you have to be in the tent being examined for a concussion to come to the conclusion, I'm tired of being in this tent? But
I'm
I
right
know.
there with you.
So, yes, it is an observation from afar. Son's got a lot going for him, and he's a good young man, but he's a procrastinator, and he's not good with deadlines. So, if he's got to pay the price this Christmas, I got your back, man. I'm all over it.
I know where he gets the procrastination from, however, and that's where I have a soft spot for him because it's all from his father. Every bit of it. I mean, no one hit the snooze button more than me, and then the snooze button of life, if you will.
Hey, come on now, though. It's the whole, do as I say, not as I do.
Right.
Okay, I'm trying to pass along my experiences to you so you could be better than me. That shouldn't be an out. I'm just saying. Don't beat yourself up over it. Okay? This isn't like when your daughter and my daughter shows our snark right back to us. And that you just chuckle. I mean, that you try not to just, you cover your mouth a little bit. You're like, oh my goodness, they're doing me to me. What can I do?
She did it apparently in school.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's a first.
And it wasn't anything truly bad, but she brought up something, and I'm sure she's heard it from me, but I don't remember talking about this with her mom recently. But it's the time of year, and all of you parents realize it, wherever your kid goes to school. This is the early dismissal time of year. So instead of having, one full day and a couple of days off, they play this 3/4 day game. And I know why. I have a friend who was a principal for years down here. That still counts as a day of school.
Right.
They have to have X number of days of school. And that is why we have all of these early dismissals as opposed to, 2 full days and 2 days off. But she literally asked yesterday, so why are we doing this? Why are we having these 2 days? Why can't we just come for 1 full day and have 2 days off? And the teacher had to explain what I just talked about. And when she told me that she asked the teacher, I smiled the whole way home.
Exactly. There are certain attributes that your kids have, and when they show them, you're like, damn right. Got that from me. Damn right. And then there's the other ones in which you go, oh, damn, they got that from me. Oh, blank.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's just starting for me. We're just getting into the years of a child.
Oh, yeah.
And she hasn't fully developed her snarkiness yet. It's all coming together.
Totally.
And I'm a year, I'm a year and a few months away from a teenager. So this by 13 could either be spectacular or an absolute nightmare.
Here's the best thing, though. Okay, having gone through it with a daughter, mom's going to get far more of it than you. All right. And the toughest part of it is not going to be when she does it to you. It's going to be not laughing when she's doing it to your wife.
Because then you're both in trouble.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
And you're in more trouble than the kid because the wife knows that all of this stems from you.
Mm-hmm.
Without you, I have a perfect child.
Right.
With you, I have got this wonderful, great little human being with your bad traits.
Right. You've ruined my Picasso. So do you have my back when I try to fix the Picasso? And you're sitting there cupping your mouth going, what, honey? Daughter's looking at you like, you're on my side on this, right? I am.
I know, obviously it's hard, but, my daughter and I will play Uno. My wife has basically refused to play Uno with the two of us because of the jaw jacking the two of us do during the game. She goes, you two just don't quit. And I don't think anything of it. We're just having fun.
Right. What are you talking about? We're just killing time playing cards. What's the problem? Uh-huh. I'm telling you. All right. She's going to 80% of it is headed to mom during the teenage years. Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Uh-huh.
This should work out well for me.
Actually, it does. Okay. Will be a few awkward moments, though, when she goes, "You've got my back on this, right?" And you're saying yes. And then you're going into her room and you're going, "Now, listen, I have to publicly, but, I got your back." And you've just told the other one you have her back. And now you just have to make sure your kid doesn't rat you out.
It's kind of like grabbing that game at 3.5 and it goes up to 7 and you go the other way. You're always trying to middle it. I mean, you're always trying to figure out a way to middle it.
Always. Yep.
Miller and Moulton. Miss any of the show? millerandmoulton.com to download what you missed. I think, David, in fact, I know for a fact, we have the good, the bad, and the ugly. Today was the day when, and what's on tap? With a system play.
Whoa!
Coming up on the other side. Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
When Glass Doctor replaces your windshield, we don't just send you on your way, we send you off protected. Your local Glass Doctor includes the industry's only 12-month windshield protection plan at no extra cost. That means unlimited chip repairs and even a one-time replacement if needed. High-quality service backed by real peace of mind, right here in your neighborhood.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Exclusions apply. See your local Glass Doctor for
This
details.
December, watch the nation's best high school basketball players compete in the City of Palms Classic. Fort Myers will once again welcome future college and NBA stars as they square off at Suncoast Arena from December 18th through the 23rd. Come see Southwest Florida's own Bishop Faroe versus Barron Collier on Sunday night, December 21st. For tournament information, please visit cityofpalmsclassic.com. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism. American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
The one-on-one games are more fun than the family games because my daughter, if someone goes to Uno, will draw 74 cards until she gets a draw 4. And so if you don't have, 3 skips and 2 reverses towards the end and go out with like playing 6 cards in a row one-on-one, you don't win in our house. And the only thing she's got going for her now is that when my wife does play, my wife has jumped onto her rules and they have basically decided I'm not going to win. Part of that could be when I do win, I have walked around the table with my arms over my head yelling, "I'm the champion."
Wow.
Oh, all the time.
I would never let my daughter win. My wife would get mad at me, and I would say, "Does life let you win?" She's like, "It's not life, it's Candyland." I go, "It's all under the same
I
umbrella."
don't care.
Yeah.
First off, how do you let someone win Candyland?
You're supposed to look the other way, I guess.
I don't even know. You'd have to ask the historian. How long we been doing Act 3, David? This is actually Act 4, but
do we start when Marty?
Yeah.
Okay, that would be October of 21.
So 4 years.
Yeah, and we did like 2 3/4 years with him. He bailed on us in July of last year.
We've been since August, right?
So
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. We are going to have a jam-packed show on Friday. You guests, we've had to move their appearances around, but we're going to have a jam-packed show on Friday when the college football playoff gets underway. Friday night, Oklahoma and Alabama. But Lee Sterling, Pat Kerwin, probably talk to a Canes guest. Okay. Normally on Thursdays, we talk to Roy Cummings and JP Shadrick. That'll get pushed to Friday. So a jam-packed Friday edition of Miller and Moulton.
It's that time again, nearing the end, but not quite there yet. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
We start today in 1777. The French officially acknowledges the United States as an independent nation. Been paying them back ever since. 1892, Arthur Turnier first publishes a new magazine dedicated to the ceremonial side of life. It's called Vogue. It's still there. 1903, Orville Wright pilots the first sustained powered control flight of an aircraft in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. It lasted 12 seconds and covered 120 feet. 1933, the first NFL League Championship title game. The Bears beat the Giants 23-21. The forward pass legal. The Bronco Nagurski rule. The first concert held at the Houston Astrodome was today. The Supremes were the opening act for Judy Garland, 1965. Today in 77, Elvis Costello banned from Saturday Night Live when he halts the performance of Less Than Zero and starts playing Radio instead, which they told him not to play. Today in 89, Simpsons roasting on an open fire. The debut of The Simpsons on Fox.
1989. Amazing.
Today in 91, the most lopsided game in NBA history. Cleveland beats Miami 148-80. And today, 3 years ago, the Vikings score the biggest comeback in NFL history, down 33 spit at halftime. They would beat the Colts 39-36 in overtime.
That really impacted Jeff Saturday's coaching career.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. Tough to keep that gig, even though the owner wanted you to keep the gig. But 33-0, dude.
Pope Francis would have celebrated a birthday today. Eugene Levy, funny man, 79. Paul Rogers from Bad Company, 76. Hockey coach Ken Hitchcock, 74. REM bassist Mike Mills is 67. Player and coach in the NHL, Craig Berube, is 60. UFC fighter Chuck Liddell is 56. Chase Utley and Manny Pacquiao are both 47. Hooper Buddy Hield is 33, and J.K. Dobbins is 27. What did I miss, David?
Nothing, man. You've been all over it this week.
Yeah, there hasn't been as much go. People don't like to do stuff. This just in. They don't like to do a whole lot around Christmas.
No.
He's undefeated, untied, and unscored upon. Santa wins.
Yes, he does.
Time to see life a little bit differently. Here's Mark Miller with the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
All right. For the good today, we go to England. The Isle of Wight Fire and Rescue Service responded, and they teamed up with a veterinarian to help rescue a cow who somehow managed to get its head stuck between two trees. The cow was safely extracted from the trees and wasn't injured. For the bad, we go to Auburn, California, where a high school who makes money selling Christmas trees had some more trees put by their sign. Apparently, police were informed to a sign on the sidewalk that said, "Merry Christmas, free weed, organic and cage-free." There were 29 jars of weed in the box. This is the bad, of course, because the police picked it all up and no one could get the free weed.
Oh, come on, guys. I mean, why don't you take half? I mean, that's like showing up at Halloween and grabbing all the candy when they leave the bowl. I mean, come on. Can't you just leave some for others?
Finally, the ugly, we go to Marco Island, where a man was a little upset with an e-bike on the road. So he yelled at the e-bike rider to get off the road. And the e-bike driver moved to the right and let a golf cart pass him. He then continued riding his e-bike southbound. When he caught up to the golf cart brake checked him, going from 30 miles an hour to 0 miles an hour, and the e-bike rear-ended the golf cart. The victim was thrown onto the back of the golf cart with his legs dangling on the ground. The golf cart driver continued to drive, dragging the victim for somewhere between 50 and 100 yards. He finally fell off the golf cart and yelled at the driver, who just waved him off and continued on. He did get a photo of the golf cart's license plate to identify Stephen Pickett as the driver. The 61-year-old was apparently out of town when police attempted to contact him. He said he'd report to the police station when he got back in town. He did so and was arrested. That is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, Wednesday, December the 17th, here on Miller and Moulton, brought to you by the Cape Coral Police Department, hiring new officers, great pay, great benefits, overtime opportunities, plus other jobs available. For all information, where do they go, David?
CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. All right. 2 bowl games tonight. South Florida trying to have a 10-win season, taking on Old Dominion, trying to have a 10-win season. The Bulls are 2.5-point favorites. 5 o'clock this afternoon, by the way, on the 4-letter network. I like South Florida.
Okay.
I know the coach left and all that and who's going to play, but I like South Florida. 8:30 tonight, it's Louisiana against Delaware.
They're both 6-6. One of these teams will be 7-6, and the other one, just for my daughter, will be 6-7.
6-7. Delaware's getting 3. The game's in Mobile. I like Delaware. Everybody,
I'll take the Cajuns over the Hens. I'll bet you on that one. Give me Louisiana.
Fine. 5 games in the NHL. The TNT doubleheader. Mark, you can watch your Wings tonight. Hosting the Mammoth. That's at 7:30. 10 o'clock. Vegas and the Devils in the desert. Panthers are home tonight against the LA Kings. Just 2 NBA games. Cleveland at Chicago. Memphis at Minnesota.
Lots of college hoop, not many good games. The Gators are hosting St. Francis of Pennsylvania. Florida is a 45.5-point favorite.
Yep.
45.5.
Yep. The projected final score is like 100-55. Because the over-under's at like $1.55. So that's what they're basically saying. 100-55. Which way are you going?
By the way, Gonzaga, 7th-ranked team in the country, they're home taking on the Campbell Camels.
Yes.
Think about that road trip for Campbell. That's in North Carolina. They're playing in Spokane.
Right. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Not easy.
Makes no sense.
Well, except they're paying you.
To get beat by at least 37.5, according to the odds makers. But as promised, there is a system play. On the season, the system is 4-1. We are tracking every game this year. Yes. I do it on weekends to make sure I keep up. Vanderbilt on the road at Memphis tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Vanderbilt is a 7.5-point favorite. The game is on the deuce. Vandy, 10-0, undefeated. Memphis is 4-5 on the season, but they play a pretty good schedule.
Very good.
They've lost to Purdue. They've lost to Wake Forest. They've lost to Ole Miss. They've lost to Louisville. So they're not afraid to play good teams, and they're playing another one now. 7.5, the number. We just blindly take the points.
Right. It's our
Home
system.
Team unranked as a dog against a ranked team. That's our system. Take the points and don't worry about it. Thus far, it's 4-1 on the young season.
and we mentioned the South Florida Bulls football team in action. Their basketball team's in Alabama. And I have to admit, I would lay the points with the Tide. I know this could be a sleepy game for Alabama, right around finals. And who'd they play the other day in a show, Arizona? And
they got whooped.
Yeah. But South Florida's at Alabama tonight.
14.5's the number. I'm with you. I'd lay the points with the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, I would as well. So there you go. 2 games in the NBA, 5 in the NHL, a couple of college football bowl games, and then another night of college hoop with a system play.
And David, for you and Go Raiders in our chat room, congratulations to your Knicks for winning a championship.
Stop it. Please stop it.
NBA Cup champions.
Please
First
stop
one since 73.
Oh, just stop. Stop. Okay.
The NBA Cup is a winner to me. It's getting people to watch regular season games that normally wouldn't watch them. If it's attracting new fans to the sport, it's working. Yep, it's a gimmick. Yep, it's silly. Yep, you can mock it all you want, but the numbers are better for NBA Cup games than regular season NBA games. Don't know what to tell you. People are interested. Hockey should do the same damn thing. That's all I'm saying.
Don't you feel like this is how interleague play started in baseball?
Yes, it's exactly what this is. This is interleague play. And maybe it'll run its course like interleague play, where there is no pizzazz to interleague play anymore. It's just part of what we do. Every day there's an interleague game.
Right. Well, that's because they're all playing each other. Like when they first started with interleague play, it would be like, you and one other opponent, or maybe you and a division. But you didn't play the whole league. You played like 1 to 4 teams.
And it was in a short 2-week period.
Right.
Now it's season long, and that's 15 on each side. That's why we get it. They'll expand, and they could change it, but they won't. They won't even have leagues when they expand.
No, that's what they're saying.
And the NBA announcing yesterday that they will let us know on expansion in 2026.
Yes.
And when they let us know, it will be Seattle and Las Vegas.
I will say, Adam Silver keeps saying this is not as easy a decision as you guys keep saying it is. Okay, we're now going to go from divvying up the pie from 30 slices to 32. We really need to think that the cities that we're bringing in are going to add value to the league. Otherwise, why do it? If you frame it that way, Mark, see, I would argue Seattle brings value to the league.
How? Outside of people in Seattle, who cares about any Seattle franchises? And I'm being serious when I say that.
Well, first off, it's a great rival for Portland. All right, it is. Portland's kind of just left hanging now. All right, it is an entire little quadrant of our country that it would help solidify. I just think that Seattle adds value. Plus, they have history in the league, for goodness sakes. They played in the finals. They won it once. Miller and Moulton, let's do it again tomorrow.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. Capecops.com. Be brave, be best. Be Cape.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
When Glass Doctor replaces your windshield, we don't just send you on your way, we send you off protected. Your local glass doctor includes the industry's only 12-month windshield protection plan at no extra cost. That means unlimited chip repairs and even a one-time replacement if needed. High-quality service backed by real peace of mind, right here in your neighborhood.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor. We fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Exclusions apply. See your local glass doctor for details.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512. Football season is back, and celebrate your game day with Jimmy the Beef Guy. We're talking tender, juicy Chicago beef sandwiches. Whether your party's for 10, 100, or 200, bring game day to your house with Jimmy the Beef Guy. The catering packages come with the beef, the gravy, the peppers, the bread, everything you need. 2 convenient locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. Skip the ordinary and bring the beef. Jimmy the Beef Guy, Chicago flavor, Southwest Florida style. Call today or visit jimmythebeefguy.com. Tell him Miller and Moulton sent you.
This is Miller and Moulton